Now, coming to Woodward Sports, Woodward and Main Street, the Woodward Sports Network Detroit Lions show. Let's go! Catch Gabrielle D. Phillips, Matt Broder, and Terry Foster for all the latest news on your Detroit Lions every week. Only on the Woodward Sports Network YouTube channel and woodwardsports.com.
Welcome, everybody. Look at this. It's the Morning Woodward Show this morning. It's Friday. Lions game this Sunday. We got a whole show planned around that game specifically, and I'm excited to get to it. I'm back. I want to say thank you to Stick for holding it down while I was out. Had to handle some business. You know, a girl had a doctor's appointment and had to make sure she got there safely. So we're back today, though. The one thing I do want to say, because whenever, and Sam understands this, whenever you miss a day, and even my girl yesterday was like, I know it's so hard for you to miss a day, but I love this job, and I really do. And I feel like I got a lot to get out, and I watched yesterday's show, and Stick and you went at it.
Yeah.
But I'm so fired up to be back, ladies and gentlemen. If you could do me a favor and hit the like button on the stream, it does help us. As you guys know, helps the algorithm of just the stream in general. But, man, I'm fired up. We got a packed show today, tons of content. We got Broder with us.
Hey!
JD is out, but we got the insider
Let's
for
go.
the Detroit Lions here from Woodward Sports here with us. He'd be so gracious to give us some inside information here. Had a little sit down with CJ Gardner-Johnson, too, which we'll get to, and that was amazing, man. Shout out Woodward Sports. Like, big shout out to CJ Gardner-Johnson, man. They need to re-sign him right now. I don't give a damn. Give him a contract. Give him a multi-year deal right now. Love C.J. Gardner-Johnson. But Sam Flannel, it's nice to see you again, my man.
Oh, it's great to see you too, man. It was certainly an interesting show yesterday with myself and Stick. You always know that fireworks are going to erupt at any moment, even though I went into the show with my namaste thinking I'm just going to have a good, nice, calm show. I'm going to just let all the boys eat and kind of stay out of the way, but that did not happen.
That's what you thought. All right.
Shut up,
This is from now on. This will be on my side of the desk. And whenever you say something I don't agree with, I'm going to hold it up at you like the Antichrist. I'm going to hold it at you and point it at you, and you're going to burn, okay? This is my new weapon in case Sam Flannel comes for me. The Ben Wallace.
The power of Ben Wallace compels you, right?
Well, it's the power of a Hall of Famer. That's what this is. But regardless, Lucas Klotz, what the hell are you wearing?
It's Victory Friday, baby. Vikings on prime time. Choke again. Kirk Cousins went off.
What?
Justin Jefferson went off. Jordan Addison
Jesus.
went off.
Oh,
TJ
my
Hawkinson
God.
went off. But it does not matter. Lions are without a doubt the kings of the north. Shit, even Billy looked bad last night, man. I loved watching that game. I was like, oh, Detroit, we ready?
You know what I will say, and I want to ask you guys, like, who were you rooting for last night? Who were you rooting for? And I'll say for me, I was rooting for Philly. And because I get why it's hard, because depends how you look at the Lions. For me, I just wanted a division win. That's my goal. It's been my goal since the beginning of the season for the Lions. Win your division, host a playoff game. We'll see what happens. But there's people out there that were rooting for the Vikings because their argument was, well, if you have the division already pretty much locked up and you know you're the best team, to go take out the Goliath of the NFC. Who were you rooting for yesterday?
I was rooting for Philadelphia as well. And I think one of the reasons is I know that we all expect the Lions to dominate the NFC North, but we don't know that quite yet. Anything can happen. And to see any division foe fall, especially the Vikings, who I think are absolutely going to implode, and I think my prediction is looking better and better by the day, I absolutely wanted Philadelphia to win. Just make sure you get your division first, especially considering even though they were fraudulent, the Vikings did win the division last year.
What about you, brother? Who were you rooting for?
I was rooting for the Vikings.
Ugh.
There you go.
I believe, especially after the opening night win against the Chiefs, I think the Lions need to be set up in the best possible chance to get the highest seed possible. And if the Eagles can lose a couple games, the 49ers can lose a couple games, maybe they go steal that one seed and get that first round bye.
Maybe. Lucas?
Look, for the Lions, it honestly would have been better if the Vikings won. But Kirk Cousins, Dak Prescott, Ryan Tannehill, I'll pray on all their downfalls. You add them onto the Minnesota Vikings. I never want to see the Minnesota Vikings win a game. I don't care who they play. I don't care if the Eagles have a higher seed at the end of the day than the Lions. You know why? Because I still trust the Lions. The Lions just went into Campbell Head and won. You think I'm worried about them going into Philly after they just
Campbell
did that? I mean, Philly almost blew the game last night against that preschool defense Minnesota has. I'm not worried. I'm not worried.
You did not say Campbell head.
I did.
Is that what it is now?
It could be Goff head. Goff 2-0 against Mahomes on prime time.
That's fair.
Just saying, Flannel. How's that for stats?
I mean, I got some stats too in the last 5 years: 2 Super Bowls, 5 division titles, and that's all nullified by 1 win. I mean, I get it. I get it. And I've said before, you know what? I'm going to leave this one alone because this is a show of positivity for the Detroit Lions.
Well,
I'm going to keep it real.
Hold on, and I'm gonna puncture a hole in that whole bubble of yours, of the positivity bubble, because in this comment here, and shout out to everybody for joining, by the way, man. We got Brandon Hesso in here, George Eagle, Day Juice, Derek Lewis, Shane D. Appreciate you guys. Ryan's reactions as always. Pistons fan, John Lord. Thank you everybody for tuning into the show number 1. But I want to address this comment, okay? Because Mike Bell says Swift looked like a stud. I told Jeff it was too soon to write him off. Mike, you must be new to Swift. All right, sit down. There's a chair over here. I'll talk to you for a second, okay? And this happens every year with Swift. I went through it, Mike Bell. I went through it as well. I remember last year after the game in Philly, I sat there and I said, man, 15 carries for 144 yards?
Zooey mama.
The Lions got their franchise back already in-house, right? Like, this is how this goes with DeAndre. 28 carries for DeAndre Swift. Do you think he could sustain that, Mike Bell? I'll wait. You know what, DeAndre Swift to me, and this is my kind of, this is how I view it, and tell me if I'm off on this. DeAndre Swift is like an ex-girlfriend of yours, okay? And maybe you have an acquaintance that gets with her. And the acquaintance you hear through the grapevine, like, man, she's special. She cleans for me. She's an amazing girlfriend. She does all these things I ask for, right? And now you're sitting there like, I was with her for 2 years, bud. That shit ends after 6 months. Like, after that, you start to see the real girl that I dated and now you're dating.
And
like
ran through.
Like, this is the thing with DeAndre, right? At first, it's you're in love, everything's great, it's the honeymoon phase, and then you give it a little bit of time, right? You get halfway through the season, and I bet you're going to be sitting there looking at box scores for the Eagles, and you're going to see DeAndre Swift 6 carries for 30 yards, and then follow it up with 5 carries for 25 yards. And then he'll have one of these games, 14 carries for 80 yards. This is DeAndre Swift's MO, Sam Flannel. This is just what it is. He had a great game last night, but 28 carries, they're going to put him on IR by week 5 if he gets 28 carries a game.
Yeah, if he gets 28 carries, what is he, like a fifth of the way to his career high? I don't have that right in front of him, but his career high for rushing yards in a season in his 3 years with the Lions, as I've said repeatedly, and I will repeat ad nauseum until he breaks that career high in Philly someday, is 617. That's actually a very sound analogy, I will say. And credit to DeAndre Swift. He probably played the game of his life last night, especially considering he was the bell cow for one night. He had over 170 rushing yards. That is unbelievable. There are very few running backs in the NFL right now who will put up a game that good for one game this year. But still, with DeAndre Swift, you just never know. You saw it in week 1. He basically was a ghost. He was a non-factor whatsoever. What did he get? A carry or 2? And it took Kenneth Gainwell going down for him to become kind of that feature back and become that bell cow. So for me, DeAndre Swift, if you're a Philadelphia fan, you can enjoy it right now. You can gloat after this week. You can talk about how DeAndre Swift is going to have a career year. You can talk about how the Philadelphia Eagles actually have a better offensive line than the Detroit Lions, who have a damn good offensive line themselves. But we know what the real DeAndre Swift is. We saw him continuously get hurt. We saw him get hampered in games, be basically rendered a non-factor. And it's going to happen again. It happened in week 1. It will happen again, Eagles fans. You just wait.
And for DeAndre, the problem was never talent. Like, he's uber talented.
Absolutely.
It's availability, and to me, it's inconsistency. That was his biggest problem, right? You'd have these games, and then he followed up with, again, like a 7 carry for 30-yard game. And you're like, what? You just had a $175 last week. What the hell happened? Like, this is DeAndre. Or by week 5, he's banged up, and then he never looks the same. Now, he's in a contract year. He's in his hometown. Again, I'm happy for DeAndre Swift. But again, he's running behind that offensive line. He had the benefit of doing that in Detroit. And I'll tell you one thing. What I took away from that game last night, if that's what the Eagles' offensive line looked like against that Vikings D-line,
dude,
the Lions are going to move those dudes. Again, the Eagles to me are the best offensive line, Lucas, but I'm watching that game going, yeah, Lions are going to be able to do the same thing.
You just watched the Philadelphia Eagles play against Iowa Tech Community College of Institutional Arts defense. That defense was probably one of the worst performances I've ever seen in my life. They're not going to be able to stop anything. I was telling it to Broder and Booner last night. Look at the Vikings defense. The veteran in their D-line rooms, Zadarius Smith and Delvin Tomlinson, both of them, the veterans, gone. The veteran in the linebacker room, Eric Kendricks, gone. The veteran in the quarterback room, gone. You go over to the offensive side of the ball. The veteran in the running back room, Delvin Cook, gone. The veteran in the wide receiver room, Adam Thielen, not Justin Jefferson's nice, but the veteran in that wide receiver room, gone. The Vikings, their offense could be going off all night. It's not going to matter a damn thing. You know why? Because you got Kirk Cousins on the other side. You have no running game and an absolutely definition of below average offensive line. Minnesota has no hope. I'm sorry. They're going to be a 6-7 win team tops. So, yeah, DeAndre Swift behind that offensive line. When you have a talented running back, yeah, 175 yards is crazy. But I think a couple other running backs might be putting up similar production throughout the season.
All right, can we at least give some credit to Kirk Cousins because he actually played very well.
No, the Eagles were trying to keep him off the field.
Yeah, he had 4 touchdown passes, and then he had the benefit, actually the opposite of the benefit, of Justin Jefferson fumbling a ball out of the end zone on a drive that probably would have given the Vikings a halftime lead. So last night was not on Kirk Cousins at all. It was on that defense that couldn't stop anybody. And it was, I'm not going to say it's Justin Jefferson's fault because he still balled out. He just puts up some of the quietest 10 catches for 130-yard games you'll ever see. But he did have that critical turnover. But hey, Kirk Cousins had a turnover as well. So did Alexander Madison. Speaking of Alexander Madison, the Vikings missed Dalvin Cook.
Yeah, they do. And they missed.
Who would have thought?
Yeah. Well, the whole gotcha moment ain't going to be a gotcha moment for the Vikings. Like Madison, he's a two-back. He's a guy that you throw in there. They're giving him all the reins. And last night, the Vikings 4 fumbles. It's hard enough to win any football game with 4 fumbles. If you turn the ball over 4 times, they only lost by 6 points. So when you look at it like that, okay. But the Vikings defense, even with Brian Flores trying, I mean, this is a gourmet chef, and you're giving him dollar store materials to go make a gourmet meal, and he was trying. The first half, I mean, Philly had 13 points at halftime. That Vikings defense actually looked pretty good. And then the second half, it gave out, like we all kind of knew it would. But, hey, Vikings, as bad as we all thought they were going to be, especially without Dalvin Cook. That's for sure.
Yep.
But I'll give you one thing,
maybe even
though.
worse.
And Justin Jefferson, I didn't throw any money on any Justin Jefferson, anytime touchdown scorer or, the receiving yards thing, because last time they played the Eagles in Philly, Darius Slay put that man in a body bag. Mm-hmm. He came back and had 11 for 159. Like, Justin Jefferson,
that Philly secondary looks suspect, especially with no James Bradbury.
Yes.
That's what the other parts of this game is. Yeah, Minnesota looked bad, but that Philly defense did, outside of their defensive line, did not look too hot. So you got to be happy as a Lions fan watching this game.
Matt Verville says, good thing they got that tight end locked down for this rebuild. Yeah, that's true.
He played well, though.
He did.
He had 2
that's what I'm saying.
touchdowns.
Like,
Yeah.
okay,
Touchdowns.
T.J. Hockenson goes off. That's probably not a good thing for your offense. You know what I mean? Like, you would rather have other guys around T.J. Hockenson have 2 touchdowns just because that usually shows the flow of the offense. If your tight end's going off and your wide receiver 1 and the wide receiver 2, Jordan Addison, did have a touchdown. Yeah. But usually when your tight end's eaten up, one of your other key players isn't, and that's huge in the NFL. You want your running back or wide receiver to be going off before the tight end.
And by the way, I got to say, Jordan Addison, good thing I took him in fantasy late as a flyer, dude. He's a stud, too. He's better than Adam Thielen at this point in their career. And he looked good out there. He's explosive. I like the Vikings offensively. I do, besides losing Dalvin. But Darisaw, he looked a little rough last night, too. Josh Sweat.
Oh, my God.
The Eagles' defensive line, I'll never understand it, but they just keep refueling. Jalen Carter was out there wrecking plays. Jordan Davis had a sack. He's wrecking plays. They got
hits.
Josh Sweat. The Eagles, man, like in terms of a defense, I know they didn't look great last night in spurts. Eagles are still a pretty damn good team. I do think they're going to miss Shane Steichen, though. And that was obvious, at least in the beginning. They started running the football, and they just kind of said, you know what, F it. Our offensive line against your defensive line. But I think long-term, they will miss Steichen. Like, that offense isn't as creative, and Jalen Hurts doesn't look as comfortable. So we'll see how that kind of progresses as the season goes on. We'll go to break. When we get back, I do want to bring up Jared Goff and the importance of him having to have a good game, clean game this Sunday against the Seahawks, and how it'll help the Lions' chances to win that football game. But first, Sam Flannel, Could you tell everybody about our friends over at Lady Jane's?
Absolutely. Lady Jane's, which keeps giving me these A-plus haircuts because you know why? They have A-plus stylists, every single one of them. And you can come to Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men for an award-winning haircut experience. Register to win a trip of your dreams and all expenses paid suite for the 2024 NCAA tournament. That's right, no expenses spared for you and 5 of your best buds. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome.
Join Woodward Sports' own Jeff Iafrate, along with special WSN guests, for the most anticipated Lions season in decades. Filled with different surprises and expert analysis. You're not going to want to miss out. Go to our Woodward Sports YouTube channel on Sundays and tune in live from 9:30 to 11:30 a.m.
By now you know me, Christina Gennari, as the obvious choice in real estate. And you know my website, soldchristina.com, as your #1 resource for buying or selling your home. Myself, along with my amazing staff, pride ourselves on making your home buying and selling experience a relaxing and easy one. Come see why we are the obvious choice. Christina Gennari at soldchristina.com, the obvious choice in real estate.
Woodward Sports' own Tom Mazaway and Sam Stick Day will be hosting our Lions postgame show after every Lions game all season long. Tune into the Woodward Sports YouTube channel for his hot-off-the-press takes, game analysis, and Kool-Aid sipping celebrations. You won't want to miss it. Join Maz, Stick, and special guests each week immediately following every Lions game, exclusively on the WSN YouTube channel.
5 Iron Golf, Detroit's downtown newest sports bar, has 13 TrackMan simulators, which I've tested out. I stink, but regardless, it's a lot of fun. Certified instructors, most importantly, a full bar and restaurant. Again, compete nationwide for a chance to win a trip to the Dominican Republic in their new 5 Iron Leagues. They're back debuting. They've already debuted. It was on September 11th. Bring a foursome or sign up as an individual. You'll be placed on a team at 5irongolf.com. Use code Woodward30, or Woodward10, excuse me, for 30% off the league. That is 5irongolf.com to sign up. We're back. It's the Morning Woodward Show here on the Woodward Sports Network. I'm fired up. The Lions play on Sunday. I mean, what else could be better? They face the Seahawks, a team that they gave up pretty much the last 2 years 100 points to.
Both their tackles being out. That's what could be better.
Both their tackles being out. Abraham Lucas.
Charles Cross.
Not Klotz. Abraham Lucas. And who's the Charles Cross? Charles Cross. He's actually a pretty good tackle.
Yeah, he gave Hutch trouble last year.
Yeah, they did. They signed Jason Peters. 41-year-old Jason Peters, who I don't think will be available for this game. It's spent, especially hasn't practiced in a long time.
He's still got to get out the retirement home first.
Yeah,
he's got to learn how to walk again.
He's got to warm up the hammies. He's got to warm up the calves.
Good
get
stretching.
out there, get stretching. Eagles, though, or excuse me, the Seahawks, though, looking for a rebound game. I mean, they looked pretty bad, especially in the second half against the LA Rams. But one of those things, too, that is super important in this football game on Sunday for the Lions is Jared Goff. And I'll tell you why, right? Jared, and he's been asked about this, and he doesn't necessarily like being asked about it, which I understand. It gets annoying after he gets asked 15 times. But most consecutive passes without an interception in NFL history. Aaron Rodgers, 402. Tom Brady, 399. And then Jared, 359. He's third on that list. And he kind of explained his side about it, too. And I want to read this stat before I get into it. This is per Woodward Sports. If you have the graphic, Lucas, the only NFL quarterback to go 10 straight starts without throwing an INT since at least the 1950s. Lions quarterback Jared Goff. You got Derek Carr on here. Your guy, Lucas, Tom Brady, Bart Starr, and Milt Plum. Wow. What a
Milt
list.
Plum.
Yeah,
Didn't he play for the Lions flannel?
Yeah,
Am I wrong?
yeah, that old Milt Plum, man. Can't forget about him. But for Jared, though, and in his explanation for this list, and when they asked him, he's like, well, listen, it's a team stat because for me not throwing interceptions, a lot of things have to happen, right? You need an offensive line to protect you, give you time to throw the football. You need receivers that can come down with the football or tip it away so it's not intercepted. It also takes Jared for taking care of the football, not putting the ball in harm's way. But there's so many factors that kind of go into it. DBs and linebackers dropping the football, not picking the ball off. So to me, this is more of a team stat. The more Jared kind of extends this streak without throwing interceptions, to me it says the Lions are playing clean football. I know people like to dial in on Jared and it's like, Jared, don't throw an interception. But if he comes out this football game, and even if he does throw an interception, I said this last week, I don't mind throwing picks. What's different about this Lions team than last year is you actually have a defense that can bail you out if you throw a pick. Last year, you remember that Seahawks game, didn't force a punt. Jared threw a pick six. I know people and everybody likes to say, well, technically, Jared lost that game because he threw a pick six and you lost by 1 score. But I would argue, well, if you force a punt, you win the game. So there's kind of two sides to look at it, Sam Flannel. How important is this streak for Jared Goff and for the Lions to keep it going against the Seahawks?
Well, the streak is, I don't know how important the streak is per se, but it would be a hell of an accomplishment. And the fact that he's already got it to 10 consecutive games and I believe 359 consecutive pass attempts is absolutely unbelievable. You can't just let that go because, and Jared Goff, and I got some numbers on this, Jared Goff, ever since he's been with the Detroit Lions, even in the year that they were 3-13-1, Jared Goff has done a phenomenal job at taking care of the football, at least when it comes to not throwing interceptions. In the last 2 years, in 2021 and 2022, and even in the first game of 2023, Jared Goff has thrown a total of 15 interceptions, which is an average of 7.5 per year, which is elite. I would say that you are elite at taking care of the football if you throw less than 10 in a season, and Jared Goff has done that 2 years in a row. And to kind of further that, in 2022, Jared Goff had fewer interceptions than Josh Allen, Aaron Rodgers, Patrick Mahomes, Joe Burrow, Justin Herbert, and Tom Brady. And in 2021, he had fewer interceptions than Josh Allen, Justin Herbert, Joe Burrow, Patrick Mahomes, and Tom Brady. Some of the best quarterbacks in the game, some of the best quarterbacks who have ever played. I'm not saying that Jared Goff is as good as those guys or better than those guys. I'm just saying that in this offense, orchestrated by Ben Johnson, with Amon-Ra St. Brown, his favorite target, emerging as well. The fact that the running game has been good, that he's been able to work off of play action. Jared Goff has been absolutely remarkable at taking what the defense gives him.
Right.
Not trying to force things, not trying to do too much, just kind of playing point guard out there. Amon-Ra St. Brown's open, pew. Josh Reynolds is open, pew. Yes. Yes, even Sam Laporta was open. Like for that one wide open play where he had that catch and run for a first down, pew. Khalif Raymond, pew. Man, that's a really cringe sound. But you know what I'm saying. He's not trying to force things. And in this offense, receivers are getting open, particularly Amon-Ra St. Brown, and Jared Goff is hitting them. And most importantly, the Lions are winning. In their last 11 games, they're 9-2. And Jared Goff has not, he's thrown 1 pick. He threw 1 in the Packers game, but in the last 10, he's thrown 0. Coincidence? I certainly think not. And honestly, I know I'm getting a little bit too ahead of myself right here. Jared Goff's going to break this record.
Yeah.
He's going to break this record.
And for this comment, too, Ryan's reactions, thank you for the $5. He says, the only stat Rodgers is good at is TD to interception ratio, but Goff streak doesn't matter, ? No, it definitely matters. And I don't want people to, because I see people in the chat like, well, stop jinxing it. It's not even about specifically Goff. This is more about the Lions offense, right? If Jared's not throwing interceptions, it means you're playing clean football, which is positive, right? Because you just brought up this streak for Jared Goff not throwing interceptions. It also helps to the 8-2 finish. You're 1-0 start now, winning on the road at Kansas City. To me, Lucas, it's not even about throwing interceptions because it's going to happen. Goff's going to throw interceptions.
Yep.
It's going to happen. And I'm going to keep saying this. The benefit is you have a defense that can actually bail out your offense for once. It's been a while since you've been able to say that. And I also think interceptions, when they happen, matter, right? If it's a fourth quarter, 2-minute drill, you throw a pick, obviously that's terrible. But if you throw it in the first quarter, maybe you can still come back from it.
I mean, still in the first quarter, it sucks, but you're absolutely right. Jared Goff, not only this defense, but this running game is going to help out Jared Goff. Because if Jared Goff's having a cold day, good thing you got David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs, who are both most likely going to be healthy all year and are much more talented than what we had last year. And I think come week 6, week 7, we're going to have more Prethlers to check down to. So I think Jared Goff, even if he throws a pick, I really don't give a fuck about this record, to be honest. I truly don't. When the end of the season is here, no one's going to be saying anything if Jared breaks or doesn't break this record.
Nobody cares.
It's irrelevant. It's a nothing to me. But I love Jared Goff for this offense right now. If he keeps playing the way that he did in Kansas City, just to not expose this offense's weaknesses, because there's obviously every offense has a weakness. But right now, when it comes to Detroit Lions, it's more so personnel-wise and not the actual play calling. So, Jared, keep this team close to the chains. When you have an open shot, take it. When you don't, let your playmakers make plays, baby. And that's what Jared Goff has been doing. I think he's going to continue to do it.
Don Beat says, I got low when I heard the pew. Oh, that's funny. Booner chiming in. He says, this game versus Seahawks will be interesting for this record. This is a really damn good secondary stacked. Well, they let Tutu, Atwell, and Puka
Nacua
go for over 100 yards, so we'll see. Witherspoon is back, though, so to Booner's point, they're getting help. I love this comment because it is true. Funky says, just a reminder, DBs dropped double-digit INTs last year during the streak. Luck is crucial. And it is, right? That's why, and I'm with you, Lucas. I don't care about this streak. I really don't.
No.
I don't care. I know people like to obsess with these little statistics, right? Jared's in the same breath as Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers. I don't really give a damn. Again, and I'm going to keep saying it, and Broder, I'll go to you on this because you're the Jared Goff defender. Right, you love Jared.
Oh, yeah.
He's your dark horse MVP.
That's my quarterback.
Just your opinion on the streak and my kind of take on if he does throw picks, it is what it is. Now, if they score catching a pick, if you throw a pick six, maybe it's a little different. But at least you have a defense that can bail this offense out.
I'm with you 100%. And he did throw a couple pick six in that first year he was with the Detroit Lions. I think maybe in the first 6 games last year. To me, the streak doesn't matter. It's a fun thing to talk about, but like you, I wouldn't mind if Jared Goff threw a few more interceptions in the right spots. It means he's being a little more aggressive throwing the ball, a little bit more. He's challenging the defense, but at the same time, he's doing what he's doing, and it's leading to wins. So there's a little bit on both sides of the argument. I don't mind if he throws an interception and the streak ends, but hey, if he's this efficient, let's keep that baby rolling.
And this is new. I mean, for Jared in his career, right, especially the last 2 years in LA. It just seemed like turnovers, he was all over it. Like he was number one in the NFL since 2018 for turnovers, and then now Josh Allen just took off and now is in front of him. And Josh is still widely regarded as a top 3 quarterback, just to give you an idea on that. But for Jared, maybe it's maturity, maybe it's being with Ben Johnson, maybe it's, again, I would probably say it goes back to just how long he's been in the league, right? Where, early in his career, being with Sean McVay, not having, and he's kind of throws some shade. He's thrown some shade a couple times at Sean, not directly, but he's always said Ben in his communication, he kind of puts things into the offense that I'm comfortable with, things, plays that allow me to succeed. All that stuff's great. But this new Jared Goff, like how he's playing now and last year, being top 5, top 6 in multiple categories, he keeps this up. I'm not worried about Goff at all. If Goff plays like he did last year, we know it's a top 5 offense, and we know this defense, Sam Flannel, to you and me, we agree, they're a top 10, top 15 defense. That's a recipe. If Goff can keep playing clean football, that's a recipe to contend. It really is.
Oh, 100%. And that's one of the thing that I found most impressive with this streak. And obviously you guys have kind of talked about how the streak doesn't necessarily matter. Like quarterbacks can throw picks and still be great. I mean, Patrick Mahomes had double-digit picks last year. Jared Goff had double-digit picks the year in which the Rams went to the Super Bowl with him as the quarterback. But it's the fact that the offense has looked great. It's been elite in the last 11 games, and the team is winning. I mean, 9-2, this is legitimately one of the greatest regular season stretches of Lions football ever, certainly in the Super Bowl era, and a lot of that has to do with the fact that Jared Goff is efficiently and cleanly and precisely running this offense orchestrated by the wizard himself, Ben Johnson. I mean, if Jared Goff can keep this up, if Jared Goff can actually have a year that's like similar to last year or maybe even better, maybe even throw less picks. That sounds insane. He only threw 7, but who knows? Maybe break this record. Maybe Jared Goff is the guy. We shall see. I mean, if they win a playoff game this year, if they even go further,
my gosh,
you can't get rid of him, right?
Well, you win a playoff game, no. I think at that point, yeah, you got to throw a contract at him. Now, I don't know what the numbers would look like, and you guys know how I feel.
What's your limit?
$50 million, I'm not paying. I'm sorry.
What about 45?
I think that'd be like the max I'd pay, 45.
Max.
Yeah, that's a lot. For at least, if I'm paying $50 million for a quarterback, man,
let me play devil's advocate real quick.
Okay.
You pay Jared Goff, let's say, 3-year contract, and we're just making this up. 3-year, 2-year, $50 million. In a year or two, he's still going to be like, compared to the high-end quarterbacks in the league, he's going to be, his contract, that's still going to be very tradable. You know what I mean? Like, you can still move off that contract, and the team will take it.
Yeah, I guess my thought process is who I'm seeing getting 50 right now, like Lamar, won an MVP, Mahomes, Burrow, Allen, like Herbert, like, no offense, again, love Goff, but those guys are getting 50, and then you just kind of sneak Goff in there, like it's like bro tried to slide this guy in there.
Well, then
like,
this is what Jared can
him.
say though. Like all those guys you named, what have they done?
Well,
have any of them outside of Mahomes won a Super Bowl?
It's not even about the Super Bowl because Jared's made a Super Bowl.
No, that's what I'm saying. But that's what Jared can say. He's like, those guys may be a little bit more talented, but right now I got our team heading in a better direction. Jared's gonna have.
Well, here you go. My question to your question would be, if I pay Jared Goff, am I still able to extend Amon-Ra, Panay, and company? If I can get those deals done, I'm cool. I'm cool with it. But if we're talking the others or Goff, I'm taking the others every single time.
Okay.
That's how I feel. If you could extend Goff and extend these guys, fine. I'm cool with it. But I'm taking the others right over Goff. I'm sorry. I just am. Like, I'd rather have Amon Ra, I'd rather have Penei Sewell, those guys. It's just how I feel. Jonah Jackson and
That's
company.
not a dumb opinion anyway, Hefe.
But and Chuck Brewer says, Jeff, that's Brad's job to get it done. So we'll see on that. Again, Easy in the chat. Shout out to him, by the way. He says, we wear ski masks in this household.
We do.
You guys both got your ski masks. Anthony Patterson says it's harder to replace a quarterback. I mean, San Francisco would disagree with that, but regardless, it is what it is, Anthony. I get what you're saying, though. If you have a guy like Jared Goff, a lot of teams would take him. I want to re-sign Jared, especially if he has a year like he had last year. But you guys have to. This is Brad's job, not mine. But you got to be able to look at your roster and say, okay, who can we afford to lose here? Like, can we replace Amon-Ra St. Brown? Is he a guy you want to be a Lion for life, right? Penei Sewell, would you lose him? Me? No. I want both those players here for a long, long time. It's how I feel. Regardless, let's go to break. When we come back, I do want to talk about matchups in the Seahawks game. 2 matchups you're excited to watch. Offensively, defensively, give me 2 matchups. We'll hear from Aaron Glenn as well. He commented on how, hey, they still think about last 2 years against the Seahawks. That defense.
Those Aaron Glenn clips are gas.
Yeah, he's a great motivator. Speaking of another guy that he's going to be a great head coach if he gets the opportunity one day. He should. But we'll go to break. Before we do that, Sam, could you tell everybody where the rest of the shows are going to be at today?
Oh, absolutely, and that is Dispo. Before I go any further, I just want to give a shout out to MF and Jester and Aaron Tackett, who I've already met MF and Jester before, but I did meet Aaron Tackett at 5 Iron Golf. Great dudes. Happy you were there and supporting. It was a fun time. And Dispo, of course, experience the true meaning of exceptional cannabis products with Dispo Dispensary. With over 12 locations, including their new location that is now open in Whitmore Lake, Dispo is never far away. Join Ermanni and Edwards with Maz and the Woodward Heavyweights broadcasting live, and Big D Energy actually, at the Whitmore Lake location today, Friday, September 15th. Located on 50 North Territorial Road, Whitmore Lake, Michigan. Dispo Dispensary, disposhops.com, your local cannabis plug.
Where's the most convenient place to get that big fitness energy?
It's Planet Fitness.
Join today for just $1 down, $10 a month. With over 2,400 locations and equipment for every workout, you can get in, get energized, and get going. And with free fitness training and most clubs open 24 hours, everyone belongs in the judgment-free zone. So join today for $1 down, $10 a month, no commitment, cancel anytime. Deal ends Wednesday, September 13th.
Join now at any Metro Detroit location. Hurry, offer ends soon.
Brace yourselves, Detroit. As the sun begins to set, 2 of Woodward Sports' brightest young stars will be taking the mic for a brand new show. Woodward Nights with Spooner and Broder. The dog days in Detroit are over, and the boys are unleashed. Join in on the banter and hop on the bandwagon of the #1 night show on the internet. Tune into the Woodward Sports YouTube channel every weeknight from 8 to 10 p.m. Woodward Nights with Spooner and Broder.
It's the Randy Wise Celebrity Golf Tour.
You're a good coach, Tim. Oh, great shot.
Some of the biggest names in Michigan sports, and some, well, not so much.
Oh, yeah, baby. Oh, yeah, baby. Oh, shit. Go in.
Watch episodes at woodwardsports.com.
When buying or selling real estate, flexibility over the sales process is key. Sellers, how would you like the freedom of canceling your listing agreement at any time for any reason with no penalty? That's exactly what Mark White and Associates offers with their minute-by-minute listing agreement. So go ahead and try Mark White's free minute-to-minute listing agreement today. Looking to buy or sell real estate? Visit markwhitesells.com or call 248-290-8242. MarkWhiteSells.com, where flexibility meets success.
We're back. It's the Morning Woodward Show. A lot to get to. I want to get to the Seahawks game. We'll spend some time talking about matchups we're excited to see, right? Lions offense facing the Seattle Seahawks defense. Seattle's offense facing the Lions defense. We'll get into some specific matchups we're excited for. But first, well, before we even get to Aaron Glenn, hit that like button.
Hell yeah, baby.
Support the show. You guys always do a great job of that, so we much appreciate you. Just don't forget, support the show. Hit the like button. Here's Aaron Glenn talking about the upcoming matchup against the Seattle Seahawks.
And yes, I mean, I hear you guys talking about how they have a bad taste in their mouth. Well, hell, I got one in my mouth too. You know, we gave up 50 points, like damn near twice. So our guys will be ready to play. They'll be ready to play.
Aaron Glenn looks like Aaron Glenn looks like Lucas. He wants to get suited up, put on the ski mask, go out there and lock up. That's what AG. That's the vibes I'm getting from AG. But he's right. People always talk. Well, everyone's focused on the Seahawks, right? They're 0-1. It's a bad taste in their mouth. They're pissed off. It's an up-down league, right? Seattle is going to be looking to get a win here on the road in Detroit. But I would argue, Sam Flannel, the Lions, the last 2 years, giving up 100 points to the Seahawks. They're pissed off.
Yeah, no, you know what's funny too? Listening to Aaron Glenn talk, you can just tell that game, even though the Lions defense improved vastly in the second half of the season, particularly in the last 10 games, that Aaron Glenn there's still a fire that burns in him that to kind of right the wrongs from last year. And looking back at last season, I'm not going to lie, when the Lions lost a game in which they scored 45 points and didn't force a single Seattle Seahawks punt, I was one of those people that thought that Aaron Glenn's seat should have been very, very hot. Dare I say, that he was in danger of coaching his way out of his job. And I actually had a very big argument with Easy on Woodward Heavyweights at the time, where he was defending the Glenn, and retrospectively, Easy was 100% right. Because Aaron Glenn, ever since then, I mean, they had a couple hiccups. Defense didn't really take off until a couple weeks later. But since that game, the Lions defense has looked a lot better. I mean, in the last 10 games of last year, they were one of the better defenses in the league for that 10-game stretch. And then last game, I know that there was no Travis Kelce, but the Lions only gave up 20 points to a Kansas City Chiefs team that still had Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes. So the fact that Aaron Glenn has got this defense really humming, and I will personally guarantee that the Detroit Lions will absolutely force at least 4 Seahawks punts. They are going to be burning to win this game.
Now, I would ask the question, and people feel free to chime in the YouTube chat thread. I know you put the poll up. What the hell is that?
I'm just asking the people.
How long does it take to Jeff to do his hair in the AM? Oh, this is ridiculous.
How long does it take, Hefe?
Not long at all. I mean, maybe it's a wig. I think that there might be some truth to that.
I thought so.
Maybe that's why it doesn't take a while. But I want to ask, and I'll start with you, Sam, specifically. What matchup are you excited to see this weekend specifically? Give me 2.
All right, I will. You know what? I'm not going to take up too much of everybody's picks, so I'm going to give you one in particular. And if nobody picks my second one, I'll give you that one. I'll give you guys a chance. The first matchup that I'm looking forward to seeing is the Lions offensive line versus the Seahawks defensive line, because like the Kansas City Chiefs before, a Kansas City Chiefs defensive line that was missing Chris Jones. This is a matchup that I think the Lions have a big advantage on. I would argue, and I don't think it's arguable at all, that the defensive line for the Seattle Seahawks is the weakness of their team. I know their D-line is a little different than Kansas City. Kansas City runs a 4-3, Seahawks run a 3-4. But we're talking about a Lions offensive line, which I know there's some questions about Taylor Decker, but whether Decker's there or not is still a damn good offensive line. And you're talking about a defensive line for the Seattle Seahawks. Draymond Jones, Jaron Reed, and Mario Edwards Jr., who was mid his whole career, and it was just picked up from Tennessee. And this is also a Seattle Seahawks defensive line that wasn't very good last year and didn't really make the upgrades that they needed to upgrade, because last season, the Seattle Seahawks were 3rd worst in the NFL in run defense. Where they can maybe make up for it is the fact that Bobby Wagner was added and Jordan Brooks is still a damn good linebacker.
Animals.
They are, but I think at least at the first level, the Lions offensive line should punish the Seattle Seahawks defensive line, and I expect for David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs to put up even better numbers between them than they did last week. Last week they combined for 28 carries for 116 yards and a touchdown. I'd like the yards per carry to go up a little bit, maybe the rushing yards to get to 130, 135. I think this is a matchup the Lions for sure will win.
My matchup I'll go with here, I'm excited to see, is Lions secondary against these wide receivers for the Seahawks.
Sure.
That's what I'm looking to see. Last year, DK Metcalf and the Jeff Okudah matchup. Everybody had their popcorn and turned it off after about 5 minutes. But regardless, this year, an improved secondary. You got CJ, you got Cam Sutton, you got Emmanuel Mosley, who will be playing in this football game on Sunday. That's the matchup I'm looking to see. I mean, you got 3 guys. Even Tyler Lockett at his age, still pretty damn good. DK, the specimen he is, right? The size, the speed, how physical he is. That's someone that the Lions are going to have to key in on. Explosive plays. You look at Seattle's offense, even dating back to last year. who had the most 25-plus yard completions? It was Geno Smith. He was up there. So this offense is explosive when it needs to be. And now you got a dynamic running back in Kenneth Walker, which that's a whole nother matchup. But the wide receivers for the Seahawks, DK, Lockett, Jackson Smith, the Jigba, the rookie, against this secondary is the matchup I'm going to be locked in on because it really is everything. And then the second matchup I'm looking forward to see is defense again. Like, it's got to be defense. I mean, you gave up over 40 points to this team last year. That Lions defensive line against the kind of, strung together now offensive line for the Seahawks, they have to not only contain Geno Smith, right, not allow him to break contain, but the other part of it is pressures. I mean, they had a crap ton of pressures last week against the Chiefs, and that was a big reason why the timing was thrown off for Mahomes. They're going to have to do the same thing with Geno Smith. You give him enough time to sit in that pocket, plays are going to develop. Big plays, right? The DK Metcalf for 30 yards. Those plays will develop. It's important for the D-line to get home, but the secondary to stay sticky with those dudes for at least longer than they did last year, because DK was able to get off last year, no doubt. What about you, Lucas? What matchups are you looking for?
I got a key matchup, baby. I'm going to put the ball no one hat on for this one.
What the hell is that?
What
is that?
The ball.
Suit up. Just like Aleem McNeil is on Sunday against Evan Brown. Aleem McNeil and Evan Brown, that's the key to this game. Because I'm telling you right now, Seattle, what are they thinking? Oh, my God. We got Aiden Hutchinson on the outside. We got Charles Harris, but when Charles Harris gets tired, guess what? We got James Houston on the other side. Those fellas are going to eat, and Seattle's game planning to stop them all day long. So you know what's going to open up? The inside of that interior defensive line. And who's their center? Evan Brown? Guess who Aleem McNeil was practicing against all last year? Evan Brown, baby. Not only do I think he's going to have the game like he did against New York, as far as against the pass, but in the run as well. Because Kenneth Walker, quick, elusive back, they're going to try to get him going on the outside. If you can contain Kenneth Walker, guess where he's going? He's going right to Aleem McNeil, Josh Pascal, following behind Evan Brown and those guards. I think Aleem McNeil has a New York Giants game. I think he's going to be the reason the defensive unit for the Lions holds steady, and it keeps the Seattle Seahawks from being in second and manageable, third and manageable. I think Aleem McNeil, that's the matchup against Evan Brown that you got to watch on Sunday at 1 o'clock.
Look at this. Denver Blair says, Lucas, I appreciate your dedication this morning. Steve Lehman says, Lucas just needs to keep adding stuff every time you throw to him. Just one more piece of clothing.
Just keep adding.
And then Rack says, Lucas looks like the kid ready to go trick-or-treating when it's freezing outside.
No, I'm ready to go ball for Aaron Glenn and C.J. Gardner-Johnson. It's a new era.
Oh, my gosh.
This ain't happening last year. This ain't happening with Bob Quinn and Matt Patricia, Fat Patricia.
No, it's not.
It's a new culture. It's a new era. It's time to shine, baby. If the Lions, if they need another man on the 53, you got one right here.
Okay, well, that we'll see. Lucas Klotz v. DK Metcalf, the matchup everyone's waiting to see there.
Yeah.
I want to throw it to my guy Broder, but first I got to give him the proper introduction. You understand where this man's from? Woodward Nights with Boondog, with Jalen and the boys. Nick in the sound booth, 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. weekdays. If you're not tuning in, what are you doing? Like, you're sitting there at night, you're chilling. Tune into the boys, Woodward Nights, 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. And I'll tell you why, right? It's the weekly nightcap. If you got something, if you're chilling at home, you get home from work, you're eating dinner, you're relaxing, turn on the boys. You got Broder giving the inside info, and you got Booner just being as entertaining he is. And then you got Jalen dropping facts in the TD booth. Again, weekdays, 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. Woodward Nights with Booner and Broder from, again, 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. on the Woodward Sports YouTube channel. I want to ask you, Broder, from Woodward Nights.
Yes.
8 p.m. to 10 p.m.
That's like 3 or 4.
Yeah, I threw in a bunch there. I'm paying it off. I'm paying the debt off, Booner. Your thoughts, your matchups you're excited to see this Sunday.
You know, I like where Lucas was going with the reasoning for why he's going to be focusing on the interior defensive line. But for all those reasons, I'm going to stick with the outside. I'm going to stick with Aiden Hutchinson and Charles Harris and James Houston, even maybe Josh Pascal, John Kaminsky coming in from the outside. The Seahawks, as we know, Abraham Lucas and Charles Cross, they're injured. Lucas is out for sure. I think this is the game that Aiden Hutchinson breaks out. I think he has at least 2 sacks, and who knows with James Houston. They could start to run this tally up. I really love how the interior of the defensive line helped contain the run game, other than Mahomes' 45 yards last Thursday. So I'm a little less worried. I think they're going to be focusing on K9 and on Charbonnet. this is where Aiden and James Houston and those outside guys are going to feast.
Against the runs and port. I mean, last year, the first half of the season, awful. Second half, except for the Carolina game, they were solid. You bring up notable games. I mean, the first win against Green Bay, Aaron Rodgers led their team in rushing. Saquon did absolutely, essentially nothing when the Lions traveled on the road. We'll see if they can keep it up. Last week, Mahomes led the Chiefs in rushing. Maybe Geno can lead the Seahawks in rushing. That would be ideal. Kenneth Walker's an animal. The big thing for the Lions here is to score and get up quickly, because if you do that, the Seahawks team, like they did last week, is going to have to abandon the run. If this game's close, it's going to keep going to Kenneth Walker. Ideally, the Lions get off to a comfortable lead early on in the football game. But we'll go to break. When we get back, I do want to talk about Jahmyr Gibbs. Maybe your expectations for him. Ben Johnson spoke about how they're planning to utilize him moving forward. You got a taste of him last week, pause. And you want, it was a small sample size. You want a bigger sample size from Jahmyr Gibbs. We'll talk about what Ben Johnson said when we come back. But before we do that, that's offense, but if we need an elite defense, where do the people go, Sam?
Oh, you go to Guardian Alarm, of course. Let Guardian Alarm offer you customized solutions from real experts. Our professional technicians take the time to recommend security and automation solutions specific to your needs. 24/7 professional monitoring. Call us anytime, day or night, and know that a Guardian team member will stay on the phone as long as needed. Technology backed by people. Your safety and security deserves technology that's been proven to work and people who have been proven to care. Call them at 1-800-STAY-OUT. That's 1-800-STAY-OUT. Guardian Alarm, your local security experts.
Get the hell out!
The sports marketing agency would not be who we are without great community partners like Higuera Health and Carol Zaniga.
It's an awesome opportunity to partner with your organization. Higuera Health is a comprehensive behavioral health organization. We serve children through older adults with mental health, substance use, and developmental disabilities across Western Wayne counties, and really excited to now be in downriver communities as well. Give us a call at 734-458-4601.
Now, coming to Woodward Sports, Woodward and Main Street, the Woodward Sports Network Detroit Lions show. Let's go! Catch Gabrielle D. Phillips, Matt Broder, and Terry Foster for all the latest news on your Detroit Lions every week. Only on the Woodward Sports Network YouTube channel and woodwardsports.com.
Burgers and chicken sandwiches are taking over at Big Boy. Try our new pretzel bacon cheeseburger. Turn up the heat with Bob's Hot Chicken Sandwich. Upgrade those regular fries with our chili cheese fries or loaded baked potato fries. Hit your sweet tooth with funnel cake fries or Reese's chocolate peanut butter thunder cake. Load up on all your favorites today at Big Boy.
Join Woodward Sports' own Jeff Iafrate, along with special WSN guests, for the most anticipated Lions season in decades. Filled with different surprises and expert analysis. You're not going to want to miss out. Go to our Woodward Sports YouTube channel on Sundays and tune in live from 9:30 to 11:30 a.m.
For over 60 years, Fairway Packing Company has provided Michigan's finest restaurants, hotels, and casinos with prime beef, Wagyu beef, and dry-aged beef. You can experience the Fairway difference today. Visit the steak shop in Grosse Pointe Woods for grab-and-go steaks or order online at fairwaypacking.com.
We're back. It's the Morning Woodward Show here on the Woodward Sports Network. Look at Broder, man. The guy's a talent. He just is. Look at him reading off live reads. Look at him dancing in the booth. He's got the Woodward merch on. He's fired up. We're all fired up here. You got Lucas ready to suit up right now.
We'll put the helmet back on.
Yeah, you gotta have the helmet on. Like
Hold on, we'll go like this. We'll add a layer.
Okay. See, this is what the comment was talking about. Add a piece of clothing every time we go to you.
If this man shows up at your front door, do not open it.
Your mother might be a little flustered if she does.
Jesus, man.
Oh, the glasses didn't stay on. I can't see shit now. Yep, that's not gonna roll. That's not gonna roll, fellas. But let me send it back to you real quick.
Oh, okay. yeah. Lucas, he needs some time to kind of get his shit together here. But regardless, let's get to Ben Johnson. He spoke. They asked him again. You knew this question was gonna come eventually. Hey, Jahmyr Gibbs, how do you plan on utilizing him? Yada, yada, yada. Well, Ben Johnson had a response to that question. You're going to want to take a listen.
we always have plays tagged for him going into the game, but we feel really strongly about David as well. So that whole combination, that 1-2 punch is really good for us. We had them both on the field at the same time a little bit last week. We'll probably continue to do that over the course of the season. And, we'll see where Gibbs best suits us each week.
He just said a lot of nothing right there. For people, that's coach speak, what he just said. Like when you listen to the clip, you're like, oh, yeah, okay, let's hear Ben Johnson. He's like, we plan on utilizing him at a fair amount to get him involved in the game plan this upcoming week against Seattle. We don't have an answer, and that's smart, right? And this is what you do before any game. Like you don't really give away, you don't give away what you have, right? Your cards, you don't show your deck. But regardless, Ben Johnson, Jahmyr Gibbs, you expect him to get more involved in the game plan. He had 9 touches last week. That just it isn't enough, Sam Flannel.
No, I would like to see him. I mean, I get it. Last week it was all well and good because the Lions won, but their offense only scored 14 points. But a lot of that was also because Marvin Jones fumbled inside the red zone, or else their offense would have had more. But I guess my point is that at some point Jahmyr Gibbs has to get more touches than 9 in a game. I would like to see him get 15 in this game, first of all, because in a small-ish sample size, which 9 touches I would say for a rookie number 12 overall pick, I'd say that's a small sample size in his debut. He gained 60 yards. Every time he touched the ball, it seemed like something good was happening. He had the 2 biggest runs of the game besides the touchdown run at the beginning of the game and the end of the game, and he even had a couple of catches. And when he made those runs, he showed a lot more power and willingness to fight for the extra tough yards than maybe we even thought. And I think Brad Holmes knew that all along, and that's one of the reasons why he was so high on him coming out. But that's the thing. Jahmyr Gibbs averaged almost 7 yards every time he touched the ball. I would take that 1,000,000 times out of 1,000,000. And in this game coming up, I would like to see him get, like I said, about 15. And I think he might even be a better matchup with his speed for guys like Jordan Brooks and Bobby Wagner than even David Montgomery. So give me Jahmyr Gibbs, 15 touches. I expect 90 to 100 all-purpose yards.
Detroit Arrow says that's coach speak for, quote, I ain't telling you shit, quote. That's what it was. Chuck Brewer says, Jeff, we won. That's the point of the game. We don't get worried about touches. Start chasing that and you end up losing games. I agree with you, Chuck. I think everything's matchup oriented, right? If a certain week you have a certain matchup, you want to exploit that. And I understand that completely. But my problem isn't necessarily all touches. It's just where they use Jahmyr. At least in my mind, how it was. What I was sold was Jahmyr was going to be involved a lot in the slot, which we didn't really see that at all last week. It just didn't happen. He was obviously running the football, but besides that, he was catching passes out of the backfield, which is fine. But I expect as the weeks go on here and as you get later in the season, we really do start seeing what we thought we were going to see, which is Jahmyr in the slot, essentially playing wide receiver, because that was the biggest thing for me, right? The reason why I was okay with the pick and I was able to kind of settle, understand why they took Jahmyr was, okay, if he's as dangerous as he is out of the backfield as he is in the slot, I understand that. But if we're not going to use him in the slot, then he's just a running back. Like that's what he is. Now, it doesn't mean he can't be dynamic, but I expect to see more of him in the passing game this week. What about you, Lucas? Oh, and you have more on.
Yeah, we adjusted. Okay. But Dan Campbell spoke on it earlier this week. He was like, I expect we're going to have more aggressive play calling. And with that, you played Patrick Mahomes last week. You could not afford any errors. They were playing conservative, trying to own the time of possession, which they did. They had the more time of possession against the Kansas City Chiefs, and that's how you tend to beat the Kansas City Chiefs. But Seattle Seahawks, it's a way different offense. It's a way different quarterback. It's a way different defense as well. So I think we're going to see a lot more Jahmyr Gibbs as far as through the air. I think when Tim Twentyman, he went on E&E, and he said, I wouldn't be surprised if we see Gibbs in the vertical passing game. So the fact that he said Dan Campbell was talking about how he expects the Lions to have a little bit more of aggressive play calling, I think that's what it could be. I expect Gibbs to really get from like 7 to 10 carries a week. But when it comes to the receiving end, at least for this season, for the receiving end, I think it is going to pick up, and I think we could start seeing it in this week against Seattle. And I think they'll have a big game because their linebackers, their safeties, Jahmyr Gibbs versus Jamal Adams in the open field, I'm sorry. I'm taking that. That's elder abuse, as Flannel called it. And then behind him, you got Kobe Bryant, who was playing corner last year. So I'm really confident about Jahmyr Gibbs, not only as a player, but against this defense as well.
And by the way, is this like, Broder, I'll go to you for the voice reason here, filling in for JB. Like, am I out of pocket? Like Steve Wilds, Jeff, it's his first game, bro. Get over it. Detroit Dabber 313 says Jeff sounds like he's a bitter fantasy owner with Gibbs more than an analyst. It was his first game, Jeff. By the way, I do not have Jahmyr in either of my leagues. But is it unfair to say that the 12th overall pick should get more involved? Like,
no, not at all. But it is fair to say that maybe on week 1 he's not going to get
which is fine.
Yeah, exactly. He's not going to get the lion's share of the carries. See what I did there? I think
okay.
What Ben Johnson, he did say a whole lot of nothing, but they are going to use him more moving forward. I genuinely believe. Because there's so many coaches, former players on this coaching staff, I genuinely believe they wanted him to get his feet wet and not overuse him. As long as especially because they won the game, now they can get a little more creative with the offense, get a little more creative with how they're using those two together. They know what they got. They're going to start utilizing Jahmyr Gibbs. They needed that weapon. They felt it when he was off the field. The offense lacked explosion. Flannel, I know you got something to say.
Actually, I wanted to get to some of the best other Lions analysis you can get, and of course that is the Lions pregame show, where you can even see more of this guy right here.
Geez. There he is.
The Woodward Sports Lions pregame show returns for another season of Lions football. Join Woodward Sports host Jeff Iafrate, look at that handsome guy right here, with weekly special guests, this week being Ryan Ermanni. You are not going to want to miss that on the Woodward Sports YouTube channel. Whether you're sipping the Kool-Aid or kicking and screaming same old Lions, you will not want to miss the show. This Sunday, it will be from 9:30 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. live from Eastern Market. It is going to be a party. Join us all season long for an action-packed Lions pregame experience.
I like it. I'm just saying.
I like it.
I like the show. I think it's a great show.
I bet you do.
I think you should be locked in on Sunday. We'll be down at Eastern Market doing the pregame show, me and Ryan Ermanni. It'll be a lot of fun previewing that game. And I want to get to some of these comments before we move on here, and we're going to get to something Amon-Ra said at 9 o'clock. He went on the St. Brown Brothers podcast, which is a great podcast, by the way. If you haven't checked it out, go check it out. It's amazing. Him and his brother EQ sit there and just chop it up. And Amon-Ra St. Brown had a proposal for what he wants to see out of Lions fans, or for the Lions players when a turnover happens. And you guys are going to want to stick around for that, because I'm all with Amon-Ra St. Brown on that philosophy there. Mike G says Terry Foster is the mayor of the Eastern Market. That's pretty clear. It is. It is clear. Terry Foster hopefully will be out there, and that is his territory is Eastern Market. He's the godfather of the area. So Uncle T, if you're watching, just show up. I'll probably text him as well. I want him down there. It'll be a lot of fun.
We'll be live from 8 to 9 just before that, so rumor has it he might be driving down to Eastern Market.
Oh, let's go. Steve Wild says, you play the matchups. If y'all spent more time on X and O's versus high generalities, you'd get it. I mean, Steve, and I don't know if you're referring to Jahmyr Gibbs and how they're utilizing him. It has nothing to do. Matchups are important, right? And I understand that. I already said that. But the other part is, if you draft a guy at 12, you expect him to be utilized more often as the season goes on. I'm cool with how week 1 turned out, right? You're easing him along. I get all of that. I'm not mad about week 1. All I'm saying is, moving forward, I expect him to get more than 9 touches.
Sure.
Like, is that that's not off base.
It's not like we literally talked about how the matchup against the Seattle Seahawks quarterback, offensive line, and we literally went through the X's and O's of that process.
Like, right, like, is that off
That's
base?
literally
Like, how
what I
dare
said.
you, Jeff? Your 12th overall pick, you want him to get more touches? Fuck you. Like, I mean, I don't know. I would prefer him too, but we shall see. In seeing how Ben kind of talked about it, he doesn't want to give anything away. I expect Jahmyr Gibbs will be utilized more. The guy's just too dynamic, man. He really is.
And that's very well said, Jeff. I don't know if I would have added the FU, but you know what? Who am I to talk? I've dropped plenty of F-bombs on the show.
Yeah,
but
you dropped a couple yesterday, Flannel.
I absolutely did. But like you said, Jeff, it's almost like expecting great things out of your number 12 overall pick is just sometimes asking too much. But here's the thing, though. The Lions did win that game. That certainly trumps all. But and I know this is like a hypothetical a lot of people aren't going to want to play. If the Lions didn't win that game, I'd say that it was mostly because their offense didn't look super great. And Jahmyr Gibbs, every time he touched the ball, he made dynamic plays. Not every time, but on average he did. And he made a couple of really dynamic runs. And he had a couple of catches as well. So I think if Jahmyr Gibbs is a bigger part of this offense and continues to make plays like that, the Lions offense will reach their potential because he adds an element, especially with his speed and athleticism and shiftiness that David Montgomery simply doesn't have. At their peak, they could be that perfect kind of smash and dash with Jahmyr Gibbs being one of their leading receivers as well. I think that's what we expected coming into the year.
Yeah, 100%. And I don't think the usage increasing has to do with how many carries he gets. Like, he had 7 last week. I mean, if he gets like 9, I'm okay with that. 10, that's what we expected. But my problem is I want to see him more in the passing game. I think there's a lot of value there that they haven't. It's untapped potential.
Especially because with this backfield tandem, like David Montgomery is one of the best chain movers in the NFL.
Right.
I understand Flannel doesn't love his yards per carry, and that's fine. We're not going to start that conversation. But we all know that when it comes to keeping your team in second, third, even fourth and manageable, David Montgomery is perfect. So if he doesn't, if Jahmyr Gibbs' usage really doesn't go up that much, and David Montgomery's pretty much, I'm not going to be complaining about it because the fact is it just preserves Jahmyr for even longer down the season in bigger games. So let D-Mont eat right now as much as he wants so Jahmyr can stay healthier and stay explosive as he is right now.
I'll tell you what, we'll go to break. When we get back, we'll bring up what Amon-Ra St. Brown proposed, and maybe Sam Flannel will just poo-poo all over it. We'll see. Maybe he will, maybe he won't. I guess there's only one way to find out. Let's have the discussion. But before we do that, I got to tell you about our friends over at Big Boy because, guys, burgers and chicken sandwiches are taking over at Big Boy. It's burger time. Try the best cheeseburger or their new pretzel bacon cheeseburger. If you're craving chicken, they got fries as well. Their chili cheese or loaded baked potato fries. And if you want dessert, they got it. Reese's chocolate peanut butter thunder cake, or you can have their funnel cake fries. All that and more at Big Boy.
Woodward Sports' own Tom Mazaway and Sam Stick Day will be hosting our Lions postgame show after every Lions game all season long. Tune into the Woodward Sports YouTube channel for his hot off the press takes, game analysis, and Kool-Aid sipping celebrations. You won't want to miss it. Join Maz, Stick, and special guests each week immediately following every Lions game, exclusively on the WSN YouTube channel.
Burgers and chicken sandwiches are taking over at Big Boy. Try our new pretzel bacon cheeseburger. Turn up the heat with Bob's hot chicken sandwich. Upgrade those regular fries with our chili cheese fries or loaded baked potato fries. Hit your sweet tooth with funnel cake fries or Reese's chocolate peanut butter thunder cake. Load up on all your favorites today at Big Boy.
Brace yourselves, Detroit. As the sun begins to set, 2 of Woodward Sports' brightest young stars will be taking the mic for a brand new show. Woodward Nights with Spooner and Broder. The dog days in Detroit are over, and the boys are unleashed. Join in on the banter and hop on the bandwagon of the #1 night show on the internet. Tune into the Woodward Sports YouTube channel every weeknight from 8 to 10 p.m. Woodward Nights with Spooner and Broder.
Calling all landscapers. How would you like to landscape like a legend? Register for your chance for 4-time Stanley Cup winner Darren McCarty to work your crew for a day. That's right, Darren McCarty on your zero-turn, weed whipping, and edging for your favorite clients. Sign up today at OutdoorEquipco.com. That's OutdoorEquipco.com.
Welcome back to the Morning Woodward Show here on the Woodward Sports Network. Appreciate you guys for sticking with us. If you could and be so gracious enough, hit the like button. We do support, or it does support us. It supports the show, it supports the network, man. We're almost at 50K subscribers. Get it there. Get it there. Big time. It really is. It's big time. Here's the video. Amon-Ra St. Brown. New proposal, maybe for Lions players when they get an interception.
Shoot, if they want to do it, they can do it. But a turnover ski mask will be super hard. If anyone takes it, it was the Lions' idea. You get it. If we get a turnover, we need to have a mask on the sideline.
Look at that. If they get a turnover, ski masks come on for the play. There's got to be a ski mask on the sideline at all times. I agree with this. And if there is a turnover, which there will be, you got Kirby, you got CJ out there. There's going to be an interception, maybe a forced fumble like Jack Campbell or whoever. You put that ski mask on, Sam Flannel. I think that could be the start of something. What team does the turnover chain?
There's
Miami.
a couple of them.
The University of Miami does it.
Okay, we need something like that for the Lions. I don't know if the ski mask would pass, the regulations here, but I'm all for a turnover ski mask.
Yeah, and believe it or not, I'm not gonna yell and scream about that. I know that I had a few issues with the with the whole ski mask mentality of the fans wearing it in the stands. But you know what? Here's what can trump all. If the Lions win games, I'm not gonna have a problem with it. If the Lions create turnovers, I actually think that's kind of cool. I mean, the University of Michigan has had the turnover buffs, and I've thought that was cool as hell. So I can't really say anything and be a hypocrite and talk crap about the Lions turnover ski masks, because we all know that turnovers is one of the biggest factors in whether you win or lose games. And the Lions last year, actually, with the secondary that wasn't yet revamped, had a +7 turnover differential. And the three teams above them, the 49ers, the Eagles, and the Cowboys, what did they have in common? They won games, they won divisions, they went to the playoffs. And the Lions actually last year were pretty damn opportunistic. And who did they add in the offseason? They added C.J. Gardner-Johnson, who led the NFL in interceptions per game. He had 6 in 12 games, which is absolutely unbelievable. They already have Kirby Joseph, who as a rookie has already shown that he is a proven ball hawk and a proven turnover creator. He created 6 turnovers last year, including 4 interceptions. And what is the reason? What is ultimately the reason the Lions won that game at Kansas City? A game-tying pick 6 by none other than Brian freaking Branch, the rookie phenom from Alabama. And that's the thing. Turnovers are going to help this Lions team win games. And if they create those turnovers, I have absolutely no problem with them celebrating with the ski mask. And furthermore, on the turnover discussion, who is the Lions quarterback who has also very famously not turned the football over really at all lately? One, Jared Goff. So I expect the Lions turnover margin to be even better this year than it was last year. And I expect if this catches on, for the Lions to be wearing a lot of ski masks on that sideline, particularly because of C.J. Gardner-Johnson, Kirby Joseph, Brian Branch, and just a whole revamped secondary as a whole.
It gives the Lions players something to hold on to. Like, you talk about this culture change, right, with Dan Campbell, and it's real. The culture is changing. But I think part of that is having things like this, Lucas, where you have a turnover ski mask. Like, what that does for the players. And Dan seems like the type of coach that would be okay with that. But man, it brings an extra, just some more juice to this defense.
It does. I think you should just make a defensive face mask or a ski mask. I mean, Lions fans are going to be wearing it way more than the turnover ski mask. But for the Lions players, I absolutely love it. Every team's got something, and I can't remember the Lions had anything. So the fact that they now have this, as little as it seems, it's like a little brick in the foundation. You add another one. You add another one. You add another one. Oh. Now you have a way of winning and a culture, and that's all that this is. If people have a problem with it, I'm sorry. We're not in 1934 anymore where people golf clap after a good punt. Like, I'm sorry. We're not in that era anymore. It's 2023. Yeah. Everybody loves juice. Everybody loves fire. Everybody loves culture. Yes. It's about damn time the Detroit Lions got some.
No, it's about damn time, Lucas. You're spot on. And Broder, you think about it. By the way, Broder from Woodward Nights, 8 p.m. to 10 p.m.
Zing.
You think about it. You went from paper bags to ski masks. That's a culture change right there.
That's 100% a culture change.
I like the ski mask better than the paper bags.
Yeah, you just hope if they're going to wear it after every turnover, you hope after each game they wash the mask. That'd be kind of nasty. But the idea is cool. I don't think any NFL team does, and it just adds a little spice to each game and this defense. The things that C.J. Gardner-Johnson and some of these new players have brought to the team, man, it's infectious. We can feel it around the city.
How many teams have that, like a turnover celebration? I can't think of any at the top of my head.
I don't think any NFL team.
I don't think it's common in the NFL to do things like this. But hell, if there's anybody that's going to start it, it would be Dan Campbell. It'd be C.J. Gardner-Johnson with the energy he brings. Now, and I saw this comment too, and I want to just, because I know a lot of people are feeling this way. Anthony Patterson, by the way, I appreciate you, bro, for joining the show. He says, how embarrassing will this be if we get our asses kicked? It won't. Like, no, I don't really think so. Because you could say that about a lot of things, right? If you win, it's great. If you lose, you have to be okay with doing it no matter the results, right? This is something you just do. And now you might be a little hesitant because it's like, well, if we lose, we'll get made fun of. But if you win, things change. So I don't know. I don't have that way of thinking, but I understand why people would be hesitant.
Well, yeah, I mean, what I said in the beginning of this segment is that I have kind of cooled down a little bit with my fire against the ski mask, as long as the Detroit Lions win games. I just think that Lions fans also have to open themselves up to the fact that if the Lions, and I don't think this is going to happen, lose some games, especially at Ford Field, they are going to get made fun of. They are going to get mocked because it is such a gimmicky thing that no other NFL team really does, at least with ski masks. I know with the Raiders, they have that black hole. But the reason why the black hole has become a little bit of a joke is because the Raiders over the past 20 years have become a bit of a joke. Same with the Cleveland Browns and the whole dog pound, wearing dog masks. The reason why that has become kind of a joke is because the Cleveland Browns are one of the only franchises in the Super Bowl era that can rival the Lions in terms of ineptitude. They even lost their damn team, and they haven't even been to a Super Bowl either. The same thing recently with the Washington franchise, whether it's the Commanders, the football team, the name that they used to have, the Commanders, whatever, the Washington team, they have been a joke. They wear the kind of like the hog things, and they have been basically a joke under the ownership of Dan Snyder. So you have to open yourself up for the possibility that if it goes wrong, the Lions are going to get mocked. But
Well,
I
it ain't
also don't
going
think
wrong,
I
Flannel.
absolutely agree
The
with that.
same old Lions
100%.
are gone. They're dead.
I agree with you.
We showed that last
1000%.
week.
Well, Lucas, and to that point, too, because I get where you're coming from. I know a lot of people feel the way you do. I guess my thought process on it is, like, there's already so much that you could take shots at the Lions for, that if the ski mask is really the biggest thing, then, like, you could bring up same old Lions, you bring up the 0-16, you bring up the paper bag era, you bring up the Matt Millen era. There's so much that I don't think a ski mask, although, yes, you open yourself up to criticism, but man, if it works, which I do think, and we agree, I think they'll win this weekend on Sunday, then hell, now it's even more lit. Now the fans are juiced up. Now you got something that you can actually, if the players end up actually doing this, which who knows, but regardless, just for the fans, wearing ski masks to the games, if they beat the Seahawks and fans are fired up for the first home game with ski masks on, this could be something that you keep doing in home games. I don't know. Maybe I'm not as, it's the stoked, not scared thing. I've slowly became less scared. I'm stoked, and I think it's worth the risk, man. You wear the ski mask. You go out there and you rock the ski mask, no matter what the result is.
Let them know, Jeff.
You deal with the results because you have to open yourself up to be vulnerable. You're a good football team, and sometimes with that, you got to take a little bit of risks. So wear some ski masks, and whatever happens, happens. What do you think about it, Broder? You think the pathway that the Lions could be made fun of here with wearing ski masks? I think they should just do it anyway. Who gives a damn?
Yeah, I don't think it will really matter. I get the other side of the argument, but it's because it's coming from someone like C.J. Gardner-Johnson. It seems so natural. So it's just him. He doesn't care if
it's not forced.
He's not going to be embarrassed if they lose. This has. I don't know. It has nothing to do with them winning the game. This is just more excitement that they can put behind the things they're doing on defense. It's just extra added energy. If they lose, they might not do it ever again, but I don't think they care about failing.
You know what I think even is worse? Micah Parsons after week 1 saying, get the rings ready. We're winning the Super Bowl. Like, if CJ said that, I'd be like, oh, shit. Okay, CJ, chill out for a second, because now if you start losing, now you're really going to be made fun of. I think that opens your team up to open to more criticism than wearing a ski mask at a home game. Is that fair? If CJ said, hey, we're coming for that Super Bowl, like, now I'd be like, okay, let's wait a little bit before we start saying those things. But the ski mask is just like Broder said. It's like, it's who CJ is. It's really for the fans. It's not like he's like, we're wearing a ski mask to come out and destroy the Seahawks. It's more like, hey, let's have something we can be, we can kind of fight behind, which is a theme with the ski masks, which I don't have a problem with.
No, I mean, and that's all well and good. I think what Micah Parsons said, especially for a Cowboys franchise that famously hasn't been to the NFC Championship game since the mid-'90s, that is a little out of pocket. And I forgot who said this. I apologize for not giving you credit. One of the things when I mentioned the old teams of the Raiders and the Browns and Washington for having like the Hogs and the Dog Pound and the Black Hole is at a time they were successful. Washington's won multiple Super Bowls. The Raiders have won multiple Super Bowls. Even the Browns in the 80s, I believe, went to 3 AFC Championship games. Yeah, Bernie Kosar, and lost all of them to John Elway and the Denver Broncos. So if the Lions, even with the ski mask thing, can have that kind of success, even what Washington, Oakland, and Cleveland once had, not Cleveland actually, I think it will all be all well and good. And if the Lions win, the ski mask will be a very, very fun thing. And that's coming from me, who basically ripped this thing to shreds a day ago. Got a little levity.
No, you did. And again, for people who missed that and even missed yesterday, and Sam Flannel coming at Stick for saying Matthew Stafford had a better career than Aaron Rodgers.
That shit was so funny.
Lunacy.
That shit. That might have been.
He actually believes it too.
That might have been like the funniest thing that's happened since I've been on the morning show. And it sucks that it happened when you weren't here, Jeff. But Stick just absolutely
I'll take
set
that lightly.
Flannel up. And the thing is, Flannel, and you even said it, Stick believes that.
He does.
Stick believes that
he does.
100%.
No, he really does. That's why I love Stick, man. He actually gave me my start here at the network and gave me an opportunity to be on the morning show. So I got nothing but love for Stick, man. That's my guy. That's my guy right there. He believed in me. And so did Adam. They do. But we'll go to break here. When we come back, I do want to have the conversation. Just pick them in the NFL. We'll do this every Friday. We go around the NFL. We give our picks. Maybe if you got a best bet, you could throw it in there. But that's Booner. We'll let him cook there. We'll give our picks for the weekend in the NFL. But first, I got to tell you about our friends you got to tell you about our friends over at Swiss Insurance.
Absolutely. Do you have football on the brain? Fall ushers in college and professional football, and this year is going to be awesome. Fall is also a perfect time to shop your home and auto insurance. Shop it like a pro with Swiss Insurance. They cover Woodward Sports Network, and they should be covering you too. Ask for Mark at Swiss Insurance today at swissins.com or call them at 248-800-4177. Again, that is 248-800-4177. Swiss Insurance.
Come hang with the Woodward Sports Crew all throughout football season on Saturdays and Sundays. Join our college football and Detroit Lions live watch parties.
Inside the 5, caught, end zone, touchdown Detroit Lions!
With money on the line. Featuring different special guests and surprises. Start times will vary depending on the game. Only on our Woodward Sports YouTube channel.
Gabby is a college student struggling to study for her big exam. Then she discovered Syntron, a healthy way for her to stay awake and focus. Jennifer frequently has chaotic days like this until she gets online, orders some Syntron, and finds her groove. April visited her local grocery store, purchased a case of Syntron, and entered to win the Syntron 100K Vegas giveaway. Pick up your case of Syntron today at any Meijer location or visit drinksyntron.com/Vegas and enter for the 100K Vegas giveaway.
Man, just in time for football, Glorious Cannabis is dropping a new ice water bubble hash infused pre-roll called Honolulu Blue. It smells so good. It's like the whiff of the first playoff win in 31 years, as I was told. It's a gassy, aggressive strain named in honor of Detroit football. If you haven't had one of these ice water pre-rolls, you are missing out. Again, to find them, you can go to Dispo, 25% off, or online at www.gloriouscanna.com. We're back. It's the Morning Woodward Show here on the Woodward Sports Network. Appreciate you guys for sticking with us. You have no idea, man. Morning Woodward Show has the best audience on the network. I know a lot of people, it's all kind of intertwined. People like watching the other shows, but really, you guys are the GOATs, man. I love you. I'm happy to be back. I'm excited, and it's been a great show so far. It really has. A great show on this Friday. Let's get to some NFL pick'ems for over the weekend here. Week 2 in the NFL. We'll go through some of the matchups. Yesterday, you got to see the Eagles take down the Vikings. But let's move in, and we'll save the Lions game for 9:30. We'll give our final score predictions there. First team on the slate. And if you could, Lucas, I know it's a lot. If you can, just put up the teams and who wins.
Yeah. Well, I got this. Does this work if I pull up something like this real quick?
Oh, perfect. Okay.
All right, there we go.
We'll go through the first one. Green Bay versus Atlanta on the road. Green Bay 1-0, looks solid week 1 against the Chicago Bears. And in Atlanta, for whatever reason, a lot of people picked them to win their division, sneaky team to win in their division. Your thoughts on the matchup and who do you got coming out?
I have Atlanta winning this one, actually.
Ooh, there you go.
You know what I was really impressed with Atlanta in week 1? Their ground game. Tyler Algier looked fantastic. That run blocking scheme looked fantastic. Bijan Robinson showed out. And the Green Bay Packers, as great as their defense personnel is, and the fact that they have Rashawn Gary coming back, they had some struggles defending the run last year. I think that Atlanta dominates in the run game, and they win a close one. The fact that they're at home kind of sways me towards Atlanta instead of Green Bay. Give me the Falcons.
Yeah, I'm actually going to agree with you here. I got the Atlanta Falcons winning. I think Green Bay is good, will be a solid team this year. But I do think Green Bay's, especially with a new quarterback now fully starting the entire year, Jordan Love's going to have some dud games, like just some games he struggles. I think Atlanta now with new additions in the secondary, they got Terrell, they got Jesse Bates, they got Jeff Okudah. So you never know. I like Atlanta's chances here, Lucas. What about you?
I'm gonna go with the Packers. I think getting Christian Watson back is a big win for them. They didn't have him last week, and their offense still looks solid. I think he's gonna be a huge, a presence for that. The Falcons secondary is gonna have to take account for that. I know Aaron Jones is a little bit banged up, but their front seven doesn't really scare anybody, and I think the Packers will be able to control the time of possession. Desmond Ridder, I don't think he's gonna have much success either.
What about you, Broder? Well, who do you got?
I'd really like this pick better if Aaron Jones was playing or if I knew he was playing, but I'm still going to go with the Packers. I think they look better than expected week one, and that defense looked better than expected. So I think they're going to come out and play well against the Falcons.
2-2, even split here. Me and Sam riding together with the Eagles, the Atlanta Falcons. We'll move on. The next matchup, Las Vegas versus Buffalo. Yeah, Buffalo is a bounce-back game here. They're at home. And again, week one, and I'll say this. Josh Allen misses Brian Dable so bad.
Yeah.
So bad. And this is something you're seeing across the NFL. Shane Steichen with Hurts. I think he's going to miss Shane Steichen as the season goes on. We'll see what happens when Ben Johnson leaves here. But give me Buffalo. They get revenge. They bounce back, limit the turnovers, and Josh Allen has a bounce-back performance. Maybe he throws a pick. But regardless, I think it'll be enough to get the job done. Give me Buffalo.
Buffalo drops an absolute hammer on Las Vegas. They win this game by at least 20, and Josh Allen has a bounce-back game. And I want to talk to some of you guys, even in this office, around sports media. People are getting a little too out of pocket when it comes to Josh Allen. I get it. He was horrendous in week one.
Flannel.
He single-handedly probably cost his team the game. I would say it's undoubtable that he cost his team the game. But you got people talking about how he's not elite, how he's a loser, how he's never won anything, how he's never actually done anything.
It was all Brian Dable.
Well, you're right. It was all Brian Dable, too. But do you remember last year when they still won the division, had 13 wins, and Josh Allen threw 30 touchdown passes while being their best running threat? Josh Allen is still a great quarterback, and he is going to show out. Give me 3 touchdowns, 3 through the air, 1 on the ground for Josh Allen, and no picks. Put some respect on that man's name.
Josh Allen needs it. Lucas, what do you think?
Oh, I'm rolling the same way as Flannel, baby. I think the Bills are going to have a get-right game. Jimmy Garoppolo on the road against Josh Allen in Buffalo. That's all you need to say. I get Jimmy Garoppolo's a winner. He's a winner. But I'm sorry. I think the Bills absolutely run away with this one. I think it's probably going to be like a 31-14 or 17 game. I think the Raiders are definitely going to struggle.
Yeah, Buffalo, I got them winning. I think they still win their division, but they're going to need this one, Broder. Who do you got?
I do think Jimmy Garoppolo goes in and leads the Raiders over a victory over the Bills, pushing his record to 55-21 as a starter.
Christ.
55-21.
Someone help Broder.
All he does is win.
No!
Oh, my goodness. Oh, my God. In good situations, he wins.
He's the biggest propagator of that.
Hey, by the way, you're going to have to face Booner tonight, Woodward Knights, because he disagrees. So
no, he definitely does.
I'm going to want to hear that discussion.
I put the Raiders at number 10 in my NFL power rankings after week one.
After that win? It was like 1980s football, man, that game. Okay. All right. Broder going with the Raiders. That's fair. Let's move on. Baltimore taking on Cincinnati, divisional game. One of my favorite games of the weekend because I think it's 2 great football teams. Cincinnati needs a bounce back win here at home. And I'll just say it, and I'll get mine out the way. Bengals ain't going 0-2. Give me the Bengals.
Yeah,
it's that easy.
I'm going to go with the Bengals as well. I think that Joe Burrow has a bounce-back performance, and I've always been a little lower on the Ravens, and particularly their defense than the average person, particularly their defensive line. Give me the Cincinnati Bengals.
Lucas.
Man.
Bengals winning this?
Yeah. Bengals are winning it. Joe Burrow, the games that he struggles against are against the Browns. Joe Burrow, the games when he absolutely lights it up, and looks like Joe fucking Burrows against the Baltimore Ravens. He hears everything. Jamar Chase hears everything. They know what's going on outside that locker room, but they don't care. I guarantee they're going to go out there, and I think they could potentially lay an egg on that Ravens secondary, but the game could be close. I still think this is going to be a good game.
Great game. I'm with you. Baltimore, we'll see. That defense looked all right. Pretty solid against a rookie quarterback. They'll get tested against Joe Burrow this week. Moving on. I want to skip the Lions one because we'll get to that. Los Angeles Chargers, 0-1, going on the road to take on the Tennessee Titans. Ryan Tannehill, 3 interceptions last week. Is he a winner, Matt Broder?
Oh, is Justin Herbert? He is a winner against the Titans.
Ryan Tannehill.
Oh, Ryan Tannehill is definitely not a winner.
Okay,
definitely not.
I just want
to confirm.
Yeah, I just want Broder to confirm it. Ryan Tannehill, not a winner. Chargers on the road. Give me the Chargers here. I know Austin Eckler's battling an ankle injury. By the way, Detroit Dabber, I do have him on my fantasy team, so I will be a little biased there. Hopefully he plays, and I have Herbert, so need those two to perform. I'll go with the Chargers here, winning on the road. Even though Brandon Staley, he is to me one of the worst coaches, if not the worst coach in the NFL. To me, he needs to be fired as soon as possible. Should have been fired last year. But they can't lose this game, right, Flannel?
No, they can't.
They can't.
They can't lose this game. I know it's tough going to Tennessee, but this is a game in which it could be, I think, a get-right for the Los Angeles Chargers defense, who single-handedly lost the team the game last week with that terrible performance. Albeit having to cover Tyreek Hill is a very, very tough task, but still, I think the Chargers bounce back in this game. I think their running game continues to impress, which looked damn good. I think Herbert throws for at least 2 touchdowns, maybe 3, and the Chargers win this game by double digits. I hate the Titans. They're an eyesore of football.
Yeah, I can't stand the Titans, but I think this game is close. I think this game's going to be a lot closer than people think, for the same reason that Jeff just brought up. Brandon Staley and Mike Vrabel. I think this game's going to stay close. I think Tajay Spears outsnapped Derrick Henry last week.
Let's go.
And if you're the Tennessee Titans, you can never let that happen at all.
No.
But the Chargers are a more talented team. They have an elite quarterback instead of an absolute bum out there in Ryan Tannehill. So I'm going to go the Chargers winning a close one on the road.
And here we go. People chiming in here. I saw this comment too, and I want to find out. Tiger Town says, "You look like you're going to rob a bank, bro. That's what you look like."
No, we're going to rob some Seahawks fans.
Yeah, that is true. Steve Wild says, "Just like y'all thought the Bills would beat the Jets, except Broder." Well, that game,
Facts.
dude, okay, that's a lot.
There was a lot going on. It's week 1 in the NFL.
Yeah, it's week 1.
It's
Relax.
the NFL.
All right.
A lot goes on.
But he is right. We did pick the Bills, so we were wrong there. Let's move on. Next game, we'll go through Chicago taking on Tampa Bay. Baker Mayfield, the experiment, the bounce back. What do we think here? We'll kind of move through these a little quickly here. Give me the Tampa Bay Bucks. They're going to take down the Chicago Bears at home.
I will never pick the Bears to win a game again until they actually show me. Give me the Bucks, who I actually think are not going to be as bad as people think. They got a lot of talent, particularly at wide receiver and on the defensive side of the ball, particularly at the linebacker position. Have you seen their linebackers lately?
Yep.
The only reason people thought they were going to be bad is because of Baker Mayfield. As long as he can be solid, the Buccaneers could win 6 or 7 games. Give me the Bucks in this one.
I think the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, man, they could be a sleeper to win that division. I don't think it'll be a lot to win that division. It's just 9 games could win that division.
Yeah, you're not wrong, but for Baker Mayfield to play consistently is the struggle.
Now
but
that's the question.
When it comes to Chicago Bears, Justin Fields is going to have no time to throw this week. He's going to be running for his life, and I think he's going to be turning over the ball to Antoine Winfield in that secondary all day long. I think the Bears, they have to get a run game going. They're not going to be able to against this Tampa Bay Buccaneers front 7. I think this game could potentially get ugly, but let's see. Let's see if the Bears surprise us. I don't think it's going to happen, though.
What about you, Broder?
Give me the Buccaneers.
There you go.
I know you guys are flying through. Go Bucks.
All right, moving on. Kansas City traveling to the Jacksonville Jaguars, a team that I think will take down Kansas City in the playoffs and make the AFC Championship game. I like the Jags, man. I'm high on the Jags. I think Trevor Lawrence my MVP, so we'll see how that trends as the season goes on. But regardless, your boyfriend traveling to Jacksonville, Sam Flannel. Give me the Chiefs. They got to win this game. You can't start 0-2. I think Kelsey will be there. Chris Jones will be there. I think the Chiefs bounce back here. I do. But then they would get revenge on him and beat him in the playoffs.
Hit him high, hit him high, hit him high. Hit him low, hit him low, hit him low. Now that Travis Kelsey is going to be back and Chris Jones is signed and in the fold, the Monstars are officially back. 13-win season loading. The Chiefs absolutely win at the Jags. They cannot start 0-2. It's just going to look like it always has with Patrick Mahomes, Andy Reid, Travis Kelsey, and Chris Jones. Give me the Chiefs.
Lucas.
Give me the Jags. I want the Jags, the Jaguars. Duval. I just don't think. I think the Jags offense is going to have a field day. Doug Peterson's a great head coach. Their defense is very solid. I think they'll be able to stop Mahomes a little bit, just because Kelsey's still going to be playing with the bone bruise. I don't know if anybody here has had a bone bruise in their life before, but that shit fucking hurts. There's no way that Travis Kelsey's going to be playing at 100%. I think where Travis Kelsey's deadliest is yards after catch, and he's not going to be as elite with that this week, and that's going to count.
Broder, talk to me. Who do you got?
I think in a statement game, the Jaguars come out with a W. They got the best Josh Allen in the NFL that's gonna eliminate Patrick Mahomes up the middle. Let's go.
I'm getting juiced up. No, I'm thinking about switching my pick, man. You got me juiced. No, I'm sticking with the Chiefs. But this game is minuscule when you look at big picture. I think the Jags get revenge, okay? But I'm going to give the Chiefs this one. They need to win this game. They just do. Moving on. Indianapolis taking on the Houston Texans. Rookie v. rookie. Anthony Richardson, a little banged up, bruised knee, taking on C.J. Stroud in the Palace. that Stroud build. No, I'm just kidding.
Shut up.
I'm kidding. No, I'm kidding. And Deshaun Watson. Okay, moving on. Give me the Houston Texans here.
I got the Houston Texans
Give
as
me
well.
the Texans, baby.
And quiet as kept, I talked about how Will Anderson had a damn good debut, came out with the flash. You know who else had a good opening game? My boy Nico Collins, 1,000-yard season loading.
Let's go.
Big game from him. Texans win this one.
Go blue.
Go blue.
What do you think, Lucas? Tell me why the Colts are winning.
Anthony Richardson or C.J. Stroud. That's what this game comes down to. No Jonathan Taylor. They got Michael Pittman on the outside. Indianapolis is way more talented of a team. They're better coached. Everything is in Indianapolis' favor besides the fact that they're on the road. And are we going to act like Houston's a tough place to play? No. Give me Houston by a touchdown.
I'll take the Houston defense all day. I actually think C.J. Stroud and Anthony Richardson balance each other out or phase each other out, and it comes down to Will Anderson and the rest of the team.
There you go.
Houston at home.
Next game, divisional
disgusting.
game once again. San Francisco traveling to LA to take on the Rams. Rams, Tutu Atwell, Puka Nacua. What's his name? Nacua. There you go. Those are your wideouts, ladies and gentlemen. And they got Van Jefferson still. I'm going to go with the obvious one. I think the Rams kind of come back down to earth here and fall to 1-1. Give me the San Francisco 49ers. They've had the Rams number. They went back and forth over the years. But that 49ers team is just too damn good.
Yeah.
They just are.
I personally think that this Rams team is still going to be bad, and it will be one of the biggest Week 1 flukes in recent memory. Give me the San Francisco 49ers. They look like the best team in the NFL right now.
Lucas?
There's no question. 49ers easy. I don't even need to explain this much even further.
Same, 49ers. Let's go.
All right, moving on. Giants, after getting shut out Week 1, travel to Arizona, take on Josh Dobbs, Clayton Tune.
Needs to be Clayton Tune.
It needs to be. I was told it needs to be Clayton Tune. It's Josh Dobbs, and this one is easy. Giants bounce back win on the road. Easy.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Giants as well. I expect big games from Saquon Barkley and Kayvon Thibodeau.
There you go. You guys agree?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay, Giants get a bounce back win. Jets traveling to Dallas. The Zach Wilson-led Jets to Dallas. I'm going to be honest with you. Dallas wins, but I think the Jets cover. I can just see Dak turning the ball over here against that defense. But I do believe Dallas squeaks out with a win. I could see like a 2017 win, something close. Both good defenses. Zach Wilson, I think that run game is going to help them score some points. Not necessarily Zach Wilson, but I think they keep it close, but give me Dallas.
I will give you one bold prediction. I have Dallas in this one. Micah Parsons blindside, sack fumbles Zach Wilson, and knock Zach Wilson out of the game. I'm not rooting for it. I'm not rooting for it. I never root for injury. I don't think it's going to be a serious one, but could you guys see that happen? Come on.
I can't.
I mean, sure.
I can't.
But I could see Micah Parsons injuring any quarterback in the NFL.
And are people gonna are people gonna give me excuses too, like they gave Stick an excuse for rooting for Aaron Rodgers' injury, or is it just because it's
me? That's what it is. You're
Am
rooting
I a
for
terrible person now?
He's just calling his shot. So could it happen? Maybe. You got Dallas, Lucas?
Yeah, it's gonna be close though. I think.
Yeah, I'm with you. What about you, brother?
I got the Jets.
Oh,
I think coming off the Aaron Rodgers injury, this is the one game that they play the best for the rest of their season, and they go in and they shock the Cowboys a little bit. And then those Coach Prime rumors to Dallas start to heat up.
There you go. Moving on here to the next game. Commanders facing the Broncos. Sam Howell v. Russell Wilson. Yeah. Give me the Broncos here. I mean, maybe that's me being biased because I think they could win 10 games, and I said that at the beginning of the year. I think they're a good football team. Offensively, though, that Russell Wilson experiment, oof. Yeah, we'll see. Sean Payton, I think, is slowly getting more frustrated as the weeks go on. But I think Denver, defensively and obviously at home here, they have to do enough to win this football game. They can't go 0-2, especially in that division. Give me the Broncos to bounce back.
I've got the Broncos winning this one, but the only thing I worry about with Washington is that defensive line versus the Broncos O-line. If the Washington defensive line can get enough pressure, they win, but I think Russell Wilson he played okay in Week 1, better than he did for most games last year. I think he bounces back. Give me the Broncos.
What do you got, Lucas?
This is close. This is a close one for me. I'm going to lean, I'm going to go away from the crowd. I'm going to say Commanders. I think Jahan Dotson has an absolute field day on Sunday, and I think the Commanders squeak out a close win in Denver.
×2, Commanders.
Let's go. Commanders, there you go. We'll see how that game plays out. Last game we'll go through here. We'll save the Monday night games for Monday's show. Dolphins taking on the Patriots. Yeah, give me the Dolphins. I think they're a great football team. And I think offensively, to go score for score with them is going to be difficult for Mac Jones. Give me the Dolphins here. I know Gillette's a tough place to play, but I think the Dolphins can do just enough to squeak by here.
I actually have the Patriots in this one. I think that Matthew Judon will wreak havoc in this game, and I think the New England Patriots secondary will not allow Tyreek Hill to go off for 215 yards again. Give me the Patriots. It's just one of those games that I think Bill Belichick will win this game for the Patriots.
There you go.
You're spot on, Flannel. I agree with you. I think Jalen Waddle will have a better showing, but you saw what Bill Belichick did with the secondary last week against the Eagles. I think it repeats the performance. I think Patriots upset the Dolphins for sure.
What about you, Broder? What do you think?
Give me the Dolphins. I can't pick against them after that week 1. I'm going to take that shot. We're going to go Dolphins over Patriots.
And that'll do it for the NFL Pick'em. We'll save the Monday games for, of course, Monday when we get there. We'll go to break. When we get back, we're going to chop it up a little bit, give our final score predictions. And at 9:40, we got a special interview from our friends at Outdoor Equipment Company. You're going to want to stick around for that. But before we go to break, I got to tell you about our friends from Planet Fitness. Because, guys, at Planet Fitness, you'll experience a squeaky clean gym that has tons of equipment, a full-body workout in just 30 minutes, in the 30-minute circuit, and all memberships include fitness training. All you got to do is go to the website, www.planetfitness.com. No matter where you are, Planet Fitness is always close by. More than 50 in Metro Detroit, thousands more throughout the world.
Brace yourselves, Detroit. As the sun begins to set, 2 of Woodward Sports' brightest young stars will be taking the mic for a brand new show. Woodward Nights with Spooner and Broder. The dog days in Detroit are over, and the boys are unleashed. Join in on the banter and hop on the bandwagon of the #1 night show on the internet. Tune in to the Woodward Sports YouTube channel every weeknight from 8 to 10 p.m. Woodward Nights with Spooner and Broder.
Come to any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men for an award-winning haircut experience from one of our talented stylists and register for a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to win an all-expenses-paid suite for the 2024 NCAA tournament for you and 5 of your best buds. That's right, college basketball's most elite event. You and your 5 best friends just get to any Lady Jane's today for an award-winning haircut experience and automatically register to win the trip of your dreams. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Lady Jane's, it's wicked awesome.
Woodward Sports' own Tom Mazaway and Sam Stick Day will be hosting our Lions postgame show after every Lions game all season long. Tune into the Woodward Sports YouTube channel for his hot-off-the-press takes, game analysis, and Kool-Aid sipping celebrations. You won't want to miss it. Join Maz, Stick, and special guests each week immediately following every Lions game, exclusively on the WSN YouTube channel.
Let me tell you about our friends over the Academy of Warren, brand new state-of-the-art sports dome field house that has regulation basketball court, volleyball court, and of course their soccer field, which can also be used for 7-on-7 football, futuristic media center, free breakfast and lunch, tons of things for your child. All you got to do to enroll them is visit academywarren.net for more information. We're back here on the Morning Woodward Show. Thank you guys for sticking with us, for tuning in. If you missed the show live, you can always go back, re-listen to any podcast platform you get your podcast. Just look up Morning Woodward Show, leave a 5-star review. We'll give our final score predictions, Lions versus Seahawks, and then, of course, we'll get to our interview with our good friend from Outdoor Equipment, Jim. But we'll start with you, Sam. Your score, tell me who you got winning.
I have Lions 28, Seahawks 14. I think that the Lions will be able to get a lot going on the ground. David Montgomery has a similar game to last week, but I actually think Jahmyr Gibbs breaks one, either in the passing game or in the running game. I think he has a 30-plus yard touchdown run. And also, Amon-Ra St. Brown just had another ho-hum 6 receptions for 71 yards and a touchdown. I think he continues to hammer it down, chop that wood, gets another like 80,
chop
85.
That wood.
But you know where the Lions will really wreak havoc? They are going to get after Geno Smith, missing Charles Cross, missing Abraham Lucas. Give me 2 sacks for Aiden Hutchinson and 1 for James Houston and 1 for John Kaminsky, which will in turn limit the Seahawks to 14 points. Lions 28, Seahawks 14, big home victory.
Yeah, I think 2 things. The Lions got to score quickly here. If you go up early, well, they're going to abandon on their run game, which is pretty successful. Kenneth Walker's a beast. But I got the Lions winning 31-17. I'm with you for all the points you made. The Lions defensive line, probably the most important matchup here against that hindered Seattle Seahawks offensive line. 31-17, I got the Lions winning. What about you, Lucas?
I got him. We got the Lions score tad for tad. I got 31-21. I think the Seahawks, they're going to be shut out for the first half. They'll start picking up in the second half, and they'll make the game look closer than it is. But I got Lions by 10.
Broder, what say you?
I got a prediction that I'll share with you later from 8 to 10. We got Woodward Knights tonight. I am not giving my prediction quite yet. We'll do that later.
Very, very. That's a pro. That's a pro right there. Later on, Woodward Knights, 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. He'll give his prediction away. We'll go to break. When we come back, we'll get an interview with our special guest here, Jim from Outdoor Equipment Company. He'll give you some insight to some things that you're going to want to be looking forward to coming up soon here. But first, I got to tell you about our friends over at Randy Wise, because, ladies and gentlemen, how would you like to see famous athletes like a Jim Harbaugh, Darren McCarty, Braylon Edwards play golf with average Joes? Thanks to Randy Wise Automotive and Woodward Sports, you'll be able to do just that. Make the wise choice and pay attention to Woodward Sports for more info soon.
Calling all landscapers, this is Darren McCarty. I'm at Outdoor Equipment Co. How would you like to landscape like a legend? How about a bad boy zero turn? And even a chainsaw. And even a weed whipper. So register today at OutdoorEquipCo.com, and even you could have DMAC on your landscaping crew.
Join Woodward Sports' own Jeff Iafrate, along with special WSN guests, for the most anticipated Lions season in decades. Filled with different surprises and expert analysis. You're not going to want to miss out. Go to our Woodward Sports YouTube channel on Sundays and tune in live from 9:30 to 11:30 a.m.
Your home is your most important asset. Flexibility in the sales process is key. When you work with Mark White & Associates, you can cancel at any time, for any reason, without penalty. Speaking of flexibility, check this out. Who you work with matters. Hire the best broker in the game.
How would you like to win a $100K Vegas getaway? You can take your closest friends and live it up in the city that never sleeps. It's the Cintron Energy Drink It and Live It. Purchase a 24-pack today and enter to win the $100K Vegas getaway at drinkcintron.com/Vegas and buy Cintron at your local Meijer store. Cintron, the healthier energy drink with great taste and the choice of people who desire to look good, feel good, and be the best versions of themselves. drinkcintron.com/Vegas.
We're back here. It's the Morning Woodward Show. We're going to get right into it. We have a special guest with us, Jim from Outdoor Equipment Company. First, I want to start off by saying, how you doing this morning, Jim?
Good. How are you?
I'm great. I'm ready to get into it with you. I want to ask you first off here, at least for the people, because you tell everybody a little bit about Outdoor Equipment Company, what you guys specialize in, and why maybe the average person could use your guys' services.
Yeah, Outdoor Equipment is a Michigan-based company. We specialize in lawn and garden equipment, anywhere from a tractor, trailer to a lawnmower, and any parts or accessories you may need. We deliver anywhere in the Great Lakes region for free. Mm-hmm. We got a lot of good specials going on this fall. Never too late to buy a lawnmower. Take advantage of some small fall savings.
And also, I know there's a contest coming up here, and obviously we saw DMAC doing races there at the HQ, which was a lot of fun. Could you tell people more about the contest coming up that you'll be announcing the winner to?
Yeah, so next Tuesday we're going to announce it, something we're very excited about. DMAC is actually going to, the winning landscaper is actually going to win DMAC out on the crew for the day. He's going to be cutting grass and weed whacking and blowing, so something we're looking forward to see how he acts out there on the lawn crew. So we will be announcing that on Tuesday.
That's awesome.
Amazing.
Yes. Speaking of Darren McCarty, we always talk about at the office that the promo for Outdoor Equipment featuring Darren McCarty is one of the funniest and best ads we've ever put on at Woodward Sports. Especially with him chasing Spencer with it. I always am on the floor dying. And so what was that like, actually getting to experience that?
It was interesting. It was the funnest part was seeing him out on the lawnmower track running around that in the lawnmower races. But yeah, it was definitely something to see. We were excited to to see him out there, and he got beat by a 9-year-old with a mullet.
That's the most like D-Mac way to lose too. Kid with a mullet beats him.
D-Mac wasn't happy either.
No, that's the competitor in him still. That's what that is. I want to ask you too, the partnership now with Blake Orchards. Can you tell everybody a little bit about what you guys are up to?
Yeah, so we actually just announced it yesterday. We've been behind the scenes working on a powered by relationship with Blake's Apple Orchards, who I believe has 4 Michigan locations. So we will be supplying them all their landscape supplies, all their equipment that they use around the farm, and we can imagine there's a lot of equipment that is used on a farm as far as maintenance and the Christmas tree cutting and that. So we've partnered with them. Starting next Saturday, we'll have the Outdoor Equipment Co. team out at their events with special pricing. So there'll be special discounts that all Blake's customers will be able to take advantage of. And we'll have our team out there displaying some equipment, answering some questions, and just taking advantage of what Michigan has to offer in the fall. And we figured what better place to do it than Blake's.
Yeah, it's great.
Absolutely. Blake's is a great place, by the way, one of my favorite spots. So for everybody listening at home, for people who I'm sure you've all seen the ad, but like what are some of the most popular items you can get at Outdoor Equipment that I would say can really benefit someone if they want to do some projects?
So outdoor equipment, we kind of touch on the hobby farmer, the guy that's just wanting to cut his lawn, or the guy that has a lawnmower, maybe that has already made a purchase of a lawnmower. We will service that, or we'll sell them parts for that. We actually touch on a UTV line for a guy that wants to get out and play with some stuff. And we do have a powerful announcement coming up that we're going to announce that we have a big announcement of something that we're going to be adding to the line. I can't share it quite today, but stay tuned and some exciting news that I'm excited to announce, but I don't want to blow it today.
No, don't give it away.
I like it.
You gave us enough today. You've done a great job. For everybody that don't know, again, Jim from Outdoor Equipment Company, I want to say thank you for joining us and look forward. Is that Tuesday? You guys will be announcing the winner?
That is correct. Mistaken? We'll be doing that Tuesday. So a couple more days. If anybody wants to sign up, they can definitely still sign up, but
there you go.
The announcement will be Tuesday.
It'll be Tuesday on Big D Energy with Darren McCarty and Neil Rule, so stick around for that. Appreciate you, Jim, for joining the show.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate it.
No problem. Again, our friend Jim here from Outdoor Equipment Company, a loyal sponsor of the network. I'll tell you what, we'll go to break here. When we get back, we'll get in the mailbag. We'll finish out the show. But first, I got to tell you about our friends over at SMA, because the sports marketing agency helps spread awareness about mental health and substance abuse. Their podcast, This is the S Word, helps fight the stigma about seeking help. If you or someone you know is struggling, head to thesportsma.com for more information.
Since the dawn of moving people, Chevrolet has led the way. The world of transportation is changing. At Feldman Chevrolet, we are leading the charge forward. With every electric vehicle, every mile traveled, one Feldman at a time. The company that puts more Chevys on Michigan roads is now the #1 name for Chevy electric vehicles.
Now, coming to Woodward Sports, Woodward and Main Street, the Woodward Sports Network Detroit Lions show. Let's go! Catch Gabrielle D. Phillips, Matt Broder, and Terry Foster for all the latest news on your Detroit Lions every week. Only on the Woodward Sports Network YouTube channel and woodwardsports.com.
Hey, this is Mr. Kearney, Chief Academic Officer at Academy of Warren. I want to welcome you to the brand new field house. The state-of-the-art facility has a regulation basketball court, volleyball court, soccer field. It can be used for 7-on-7 football. Our K-8 academic features AM, PM, latchkey, small classroom sizes, Learning Street, futuristic media center, free breakfast and lunch, Houghton Mifflin curriculum, academic games, K-8 athletics, and more. Enroll today at academywarren.net.
Wondering where the best Lions tailgate is? That's easy. Eastern Market, the official Detroit Lions tailgate party at Shed Number 5 in Eastern Market. Woodward Sports will be broadcasting live for every home game. 3-star Michelin buffet featuring Chef Ermanni, VIP parking, and even tickets if you need them. How do you sign up? Go to bullseyeeventgroup.com and tailgate like a VIP. That's bullseyeeventgroup.com.
We're back on the Morning Woodward Show. We just got done talking to our good friend Jim from Outdoor Equipment Company. Man, Jim's a legend. Those guys over at Outdoor Equipment Company, man, I want to take a turn in the race. I know it looks a lot of fun out there. D-Mac was crushing it until, unfortunately, he got beat by a kid with a mullet.
The mullet will do it to you, especially when it comes to riding tractors and lawnmowers. I'm taking the mullet every time.
I would argue the mullet gives a little more juice.
Yeah,
like if you got
aerodynamics.
It's yes. You know what? Thank you, Lucas. I knew you'd agree with me there.
Ball knowers.
Let's get to mullet knowers. Let's get to some questions here for mailbag, and we'll start us off. Matt says, mailbag, Sam, does your back hurt carrying the show?
Hey, well, that's the opposite of what I usually get. I certainly don't carry the show. I mean, we got Jeff is elite, Broder's elite, Lucas is elite, and JB Smoove, of course, when he is here, he is elite as well.
The definition of elite, yes. JB Smoove.
Yes.
You know what this show actually is? It's an embarrassment of riches. I'm just along for the ride.
I love it, man. Appreciate you, Sam. Steve-O, baby, says, mailbag, Lucas, are you going to wear that on Halloween while passing out candy?
I might wear it on Halloween. I'm not passing out candy, though. I'm going out and getting fucked up. I'm not handing out candy to kids, man.
Yeah, you're asking a guy from Toledo if he's handing out candy. He ain't handing out something else.
Percocet. Molly Percocet.
Don't take candy from that man.
You're giving out
That was a thing in Toledo for a little bit. There were people handing out pills on Halloween.
Yeah, you're handing out like used needles, man. Or something. Like it's keep your kids away from Toledo on Halloween. Next question here, mailbag downbeat Sam. I just want to say you guys gave me PTSD today because of those pew. Thanks a lot. You scared Don Beats.
Yeah, that was.
You're Jonathan Gannon flannel.
He thought Ish was going down in his neighborhood because of those noises.
I'm not gonna lie. When I was in the middle of it, I'm like, ooh, that was kind of cringe. But you know what I mean? It's just like pew, Amon-Ra St. Brown, pew, Josh Reynolds, pew, Khalif Raymond. I mean, that's what Jared Goff's been doing the last 10, 11 games or so.
That is true.
Just my illustration.
Next question, Brandon, mailbag. Do you guys think we could have beat Philly last night? I feel like we are on the same level currently. I know the season will change throughout. And Brandon, I think that was well said because I agree with you. Watching last night, like man, Lions match up better with Philly, but it is week 2. You got to give it time to kind of marinate. We'll see if they could stay healthy. Number 1, but number 2, how they look in the postseason. Last year, that game against Philly, people were like, "Oh, you only lost by 3." If you watched that game, you didn't lose by 3.
No.
I know the final score indicated that, but Eagles, they whooped that ass until late in the game. I like the Lions' chances, though, this year. I do, against the Eagles. And I think the Eagles are one of the best rosters in football, but I do think with now the loss of Shane Steichen, maybe some other things, maybe this is a better chance to beat them this year than last year. Is that fair?
Oh, absolutely. And the Eagles' defense, especially their secondary, hasn't looked as good as last year. Not even close. I mean, did the loss of Jonathan Gannon, who is a damn good defensive coordinator, did that hurt them at all? Speaking of pew, 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 Jonathan Gannon does have a track record as a defensive coordinator.
He does.
They lost both their coordinators. It's going to hurt him.
No doubt about it. Let's see here. People are laughing at
this
the...
beat is like...
Oh.
It's like chanting.
I love this beat.
This is like you're cooking right now, bro.
Shout out Ben 10.
Flannel knows.
Yeah, the away fan.
19,
like Stevie Y.
There you go. Mailbag, how do you guys feel about the number 0 in football? Was watching the Eagles kick ass last night. Man, it just looks weird on a jersey.
Oh,
I actually love the number 0. I do. I know Marvin Jones has it. I think it looks clean, man. I know people like Maz would be like, I'm frazzled. I hate seeing these numbers on these specific position groups. And I don't care, man.
Here comes Flannel with the same opinion.
Like Jameson Williams wearing 9, I'm cool with it. Number 0, I'm cool with it. I like it.
You know, I'm cool with it as long as Marvin Jones doesn't play like a 0 next week. That's fair. He played like a 0 in week 1.
0.
Man.
Love the guy.
Caught a stray there, Marvin Jones. But he's right. And Marvin Jones would even admit that, man. He didn't play well.
Yeah.
He just didn't play well. And we know he's much better than that. We shall see. Bounce back game from Marvin Jones. Next question. Jack Harrington, is Lucas pre-gaming for Halloween next month? A lot of Halloween questions here, Lucas.
I don't know why they think this is... I don't dress up for Halloween. Like, I really don't. Like, I haven't dressed up for Halloween since I've been, like, 13. So... I'm not dressing up, but will I be pre-gaming for Halloween? Absolutely. Absolutely.
You know, Jeff, I think now that Matt Broder's here, you gotta promote one of his shows, one of his like 5 shows.
Tell him.
Now,
this
right?
guy is.
Tell him.
This guy is everywhere.
Tell him.
Neil Rule would say I'm the franchise. I would argue Broder is the franchise because the Lions Insider Show, actually, I got to tell you about, because he's on that show as well. He just doesn't miss. He's on Woodward nights, as you can see, weekdays 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. But he's also on the Insider Show, and you can catch that twice a week. Again, Sundays 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. and Tuesdays 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. They break down the game. You got the Lions Insiders breaking it down. You're going to want to tune in only on the Woodward Sports YouTube channel. Let's get back to some mailbag here. Questions are already coming through now. Mailbag Shot says, Jeff, did you get your ski mask yet? I already got mine. I went to place mine yesterday, but it said the arrival date would be after the Lions game. So I'm trying to see if I can kind of buy one off of someone here who has a ski mask. I know
I'll lend you mine for a week.
That secondary market.
Yeah, it's tough. I want to wear it on the pregame show on Sunday. I wanted to bring some juice, but I don't have a ski mask, so I'm pissed off, Shot. I'm trying my best here. I gotta visit the black market, see if I can get some ski masks.
Speaking of ski masks,
it's a hot commodity. It really is.
Broder,
Oh.
you had a pretty exclusive video yesterday. Speaking of the ski mask, didn't you?
Yeah, maybe Babyface Ray has an extra ski mask for you. CJ Gardner-Johnson, we got a little FaceTime in the locker room
Do we want
with.
the video real quick? Jeff, you want it, or you want to keep mailbag? The CJ video of Broder in the locker room.
Oh, yeah, we didn't play that, did we?
I think it's 48 seconds long.
Yeah, let's play it. Let's play it. CJ Gardner-Johnson, Broder, talk to him.
This is Broder on the
Talk
cam,
to
baby.
him.
Boots on the ground, Broder.
Long story short, T Grizzly called me, Bayface called me, V's called me, Sada called me. Matter of fact, I might call Sada right now.
You want them all to come to the game, right?
Watch this. Hold on. I might call Sada if he ain't on tour. If Sada ain't on tour, I'm the hottest in the world right now. You know what I mean?
SOG CD.
SOG CD. I'm trying to get Sada baby to answer. I'm gonna call all the rappers I just named. Just give me some time. Give me like 2 seconds. I don't care about getting declined. I can show y'all the names though. What they say? But say Sada baby.
SOG CD. It says Sada baby.
I'm trying. He on tour right now. All right, come on. Gonna call Babyface Ray. Matter of fact,
have you recorded with any of these guys?
Yeah. Babyface did this other day. Oh, there you go. Hold on. Tell them folks you're gonna be at the game with that ski mask on. Tell them folks, man. Hold on. Where the ski at, man?
Stash incoming.
We skied up, man. Listen, they think I'm playing with them. We got the whole D in the ski mask, man. We outside. Quit playing.
Oh, let's go.
Hold on.
Let's go.
That's a ski mask. That's a designer ski mask. Yeah, you heard what he said. By Babyface Ray, the only one in the world, the best rapper in Detroit.
Yes.
And make sure the Woodward Sports put that best rapper in Detroit.
Best rapper in Detroit.
And quote by CD Dudes, Babyface Ray.
Let's go.
Mask gonna be on.
Wow.
Shout out Broder, man.
Let's give a round of applause for the man.
Broder.
Broder is the man for that. I know people are trying to kind of ride your wave there, but they end up on the sand when they ride Broder's wave.
Ooh,
you know what I mean?
bar.
That's just what it is.
Bar.
Like you listen, Broder. That was your exclusive. You did a great job of that.
Appreciate that,
by
boys.
the way, I was familiar with your game. You got knowledge in the rap game.
A little bit, baby.
CJ caught that. He's like, okay, Broder.
You see him perked up a little bit?
He's like, I see. He just sees the mustache, but he don't know you got game. How was it talking to CJ?
Oh, it was awesome. He's like one of the nicest guys ever. He's full of energy and he talks a lot for sure. But the dude's got a good heart and he's totally bought into Detroit. He's a phenomenal player for the Lions to have brought in this year.
And Detroit's bought into him too. It's
without a doubt.
It's an even-keeled relationship.
Yeah, that was amazing, man. I love it. I love how he has Babyface Ray just on dial.
Yeah.
Like the guy.
Yeah, let me call Sada. Oh, he doesn't answer? Let me call Babyface Ray. If he doesn't, let me call T. I already talked to him today. Let me call him.
Yeah, that is awesome. Again, that's Woodward Sports exclusive right there. And he's all for Woodward Sports there. You know,
for the streets.
Listen, Woodward Sports is out in the streets. We're for the people. Everyone knows that. But for CJ to show some love here, he did say the thumbnails are fire.
He did. He shouted out the thumbnails. Said Woodward Sports got great thumbnails.
That's big time, man. That's huge. CJ is just he is the city now. He's embraced the city. The city's embraced him. That's a guy, Sam Flannel. They got to lock up long term pretty quickly here. I love CJ Gardner-Johnson.
It seemed to change a lot of things in terms of the expectations for the Lions coming into the season when CJ Gardner-Johnson was signed. It is just a one-year deal, but the way he's been playing so far, the way that he's kind of captured the hearts of all Detroiters, we've got to lock him up long term. It at least has to be a priority, especially if he continues to play well, which I expect he will. And speaking of things that are great, how about the Lions post-game show?
That's a pretty great show.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
With Woodward Sports' own Tom Mazaway and Sam Stick Day, fresh off of his battle with yours truly. We'll be hosting our Lions post-game show after every Lions game all season long. Tune in on the Woodward Sports YouTube channel for his hot off-the-press takes, game analysis, and Kool-Aid sipping celebrations. You don't want to miss it. Maz, Stick, Anson, Lucas Klotz is going to be a part of it most of the time.
Baby.
Absolutely. Absolutely, a ball knower himself. Special guest each week directly following every Lions game, exclusively on the WSN YouTube channel.
Nathan Lagallo says past 20 minutes of the show has been breaks in a lawnmower interview and some mailbag. Great sports show. Nathan, if you're Italian, by the way, I'm disappointed. I am. As an Italian, I thought you'd have a little more love there. I get it. But again, thanks for sticking with us, and we do appreciate you. Just come on, man. It's
maybe coming a little earlier than 9:40.
Yeah,
9:30.
we had a packed show all day today. We had to pay some bills there, Nathan. We just did. And if you're Italian, disappointed in you. You got to support Italians. All right, moving on. Let's get to some more questions here. Steve-O Baby Mailbag. Jeff, are you excited about the Red Wings season this year? I am, man. I'm excited for the Red Wings. I'm excited for the Pistons to get going. We'll have more and more to discuss. If there is another team besides the Lions I'm watching this year to make the postseason, it is those Red Wings.
Absolutely.
It is.
For the Red Wings, for me, it's playoffs or bust. But the Pistons, they look to take the next step in the rebuild. And how about even the Detroit Tigers? I mean, there's not a whole lot to talk about, but they have made some improvements. Spencer Torkelson might hit 30 home runs. You got Reese Olson. You got Matt Manning, Tarek Skubal. Even Kerry Carpenter has probably played the best out of any offensive player for the Lions. The only issue is Riley Green's health, because other than that, he has looked great too. So sports in Detroit are on the upswing. Just imagine, it just takes me back to like 2018, 2019, where everything looks so dead. It is a great time to be a Detroit sports fan.
No doubt about it. Let's see if we can get one more question up here. Jalen says, I can get you a mask, Jeff. Y'all trying to go to East 7 Mile.
Let's ride!
I think I'm sick that day, Jalen. But
you scared, Jeff?
No.
7 Mile, bet a mile.
Listen, I look at me. Look what I'm wearing. Like I look like a guy. I look like a kid who's about to go to church. Like I'm not going to 7.
Himself right
I
now.
can't. No, it is what it is. I'm stating facts, but I appreciate you, Jalen. Jalen is our voice directly to the people, because Jalen's always helping out the community.
Jalen did like a school drive.
Yeah,
they gave away a shit ton of school supplies. So not only is Jalen like funny and whatever, but Jalen's a good ass dude who's actually giving back to the community, and he's like our age, man. So shout out Jalen.
Jalen is the GOAT. Appreciate it. But that'll do it for all we have for today's show. Again, we appreciate you guys for tuning in, supporting the network, supporting the show. We got love for every one of you, man. It really, I don't think you guys even fathom how much love we got for you, because the support is much appreciated. It does not go unnoticed. Before you leave, hit the like button on the stream. Supports the algorithm of the show. It supports the network. And before you leave, if you're not subscribed, hit that subscribe button. From Jeff Iafrate, I'm happy to be back. Sam Flannel, my partner in crime, Lucas Claus in the booth. Gabby D. Phillips is out today, but I think maybe we'll see. I think she'll be back next week. Matt Broder, thank you, man, for filling in, dude. Seriously, appreciate it, man. He always holds it down for us. The only guy besides JB I trust is you, Broder. It's a fact. So I need Broder in that sound booth if JB's not here. Until Sunday, I'll see you guys. Lions pregame show, Easter Market. Be down there. If you're going to the game, come visit us. Say hi. I love it. We have the pregame show as well and the postgame.
I'll be on the dust for that, baby. Show up. I'll be in the gear.
Lucas will be on the desk
for the postgame. Me and Stick. Me and Stick.
You and Stick. It'll be a lot of fun. Until Monday, we'll see you guys. Thanks for tuning in.